All right, good Monday morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We are back. We are getting closer, boys and girls.
I like how you led off with that on today's day, that we are getting closer.
Why?
Because there's no sports today. There's nothing on today.
There's home runs.
Home run.
I'll give you
derby.
Wednesday. Wednesday sucks.
Hey,
Wednesday's like the worst
Chicks.
day ever.
Oh, Shane Gillis is hosting the ESPYs.
No, I'm good.
I'm
I'd rather
not-
watch a blank screen.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm not really
Chicks
licking my
dig the
lips.
long ball. We got the home run derby tonight.
We do have Summer League tonight. The Chicago plays tonight, and Indiana plays tonight. Indiana plays Chicago. Keisei Tominaga. Stephen Ashworth
Yeah.
Oh,
playing
Not on
Buzelis.
national TV, though, right?
It is on ESPN Plus,
Okay.
and
I
I
had that.
believe it tips off at 5:00.
Okay. So they
Which
get
is
out the way
our
before
kinda
the
game time.
home
I
run
know.
derby.
It just happens. But this is where we're at. Like I said,
No, this
I-
is hey,
I-
don't. This is not the dog days, baby, because we're 2 weeks away. We're closing in.
2 weeks away from being 5 weeks away, or
No, I smell what you're
2
cooking.
weeks from today,
big. It's
the
not-
road to 2025 for Nebraska football begins. Camp opens up 2 weeks from today.
oh,
look at that.
And today is Talking Season Part 2, the SEC Media Days in Atlanta. So we're getting closer. We're getting doses, but 2 weeks from today, it is
Look.
on like Donkey Kong.
love the optimism.
It's like you
Look.
taste. Hey, does it taste good? Okay, we still have a few more minutes. Full meal's not ready, but just want we're
You
coming
know,
along here.
Hey, Big 12 Media Day actually did provide plenty of storylines and plenty of things to talk
Hors
about,
d'oeuvres.
and things to like get excited about. So I am licking my lips for SEC Media Day, and just
Morning, coach.
I want a juicy quote. I want like a Tony Petitti being like, we're better than, just straight up being like, we are better than the Big Ten. Or I want like a Kirby Smart being like, well, when you play a bunch of tomato cans like Rutgers and Maryland, like I do want some like bullets thrown directly in the vicinity of the Big Ten.
I think they'll save that for the mouthpiece of the SEC.
Mhm.
I think Feinbaum doing
Oh.
his show from there,
He
he'll be the
understands
guy
assignment.
because they don't want to talk about their own league
Yeah.
that has not won a national championship in the last 2 years.
No.
And if I recall, let me think about this for a moment. Who played in the national championship game 2 years ago?
Washington and Michigan,
Okay, who played last year?
Penn State and Notre Dame. Or sorry, yeah.
I
Or,
don't
Ohio State,
remember.
Notre
Ohio
Dame.
State and Notre Dame. My bad. Penn State and Notre Dame.
There
played in the
was
semifinal.
not a SEC team in there, was there?
No.
Okay.
No, there wasn't.
So maybe they'll have to find a different talking point. I think that would be the talking point. Is what people are saying on the interwebs is the SEC over? Are they cooked?
Is that what they're saying?
But it is in Atlanta. It begins today. It is a 4-day event.
This is crazy. I know it's always 4 days. I know it's a
Why are
long,
you
a long
surprised?
event, but it's just like a whole week to
Oh
just
yeah.
bring up a bunch of guys, could talk about
Hey.
their teams and kind of say the same points over and over again. It's
Well,
always
they
fun.
don't have the last 2 national championships. They have a better media day experience.
In what
Not as
way?
good as the meetings.
Because the thing about the SEC, and I give them credit, is everybody from employees to people that are in the league playing to their fans to their media, they get it.
Mhm.
They're always in the promotion business.
Sure.
They are always promoting their league. They're always talking about their league. And this is for their SEC media days. That's like the biggest thing to some of these small town radio stations
Sure.
in the South is they go there. And coaches are required in the SEC to go down Radio Row. Now, even if Nick Saban spends 3 minutes with the station from Gulf Shores, they
still
ask
worth
you
it.
to do it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
tell
It
you
is
what,
worth
Coach.
it is worth their trip.
Y'all
But
fixing to be good
But
this
they're
year.
always promoting their league, and I give them credit. I mean, we might be like get a headache and go, come on,
Sure.
but they're always promoting their league, and they also are more. When you go to an SEC media days,
It just means more.
well, they got fans involved. Remember, they got the Gumps. The Gumps will be in the lobby.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta this week.
Summer vacation.
Where it's more like friendly. It's like
Sure.
fan. It's like okay.
It's not
Where the
corporate.
Big Ten is more like buttoned up, and it'll be curious, like being in Vegas.
There will be no smiling.
You know, you're
Thank
you're in the hotbed of
Yeah.
Atlanta where college football is king. Now, the Big Ten goes to Vegas and it's kind of cool, and they're going to be in a big room at Mandalay Bay. But the SEC, give them credit, their media days and the way they talk about their league is so much greater
Well,
than the Big Ten when
lot
it
of-
comes to the media.
A lot of people gave them crap because of the pamphlet that they handed out at their meetings when they were promoting like their league and promoting their strength of schedule. I read the pamphlet. I read the material. I thought it was convincing. I was reading it and I go, I understand why people think that this might be lame, that you have to go out of your way to make this thing, to hand it out to convince people that you're good. But I'm like, they bring up some very valid points in this, in all these pieces of paper, to the point where I'm like, I feel like more leagues should do this, because I if I'm being honest with you, I was convinced. I'm sure there are some other people who read that thing that they were probably convinced of, like, hey, the SEC might be better than what we think it is. I thought it was genius. So, like, I give them a ton of credit. I think it's easy to make fun of the SEC because they are so bullish and they have been so dominant.
They bring it on themselves.
Well, but that's the thing, though. They're allowed to.
By the way, Diego Pavia speaks today.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be really fun, because that guy went. I mean, he said some very, very confident things about his team and about his league.
He's still at Vanderbilt, or did somebody buy him?
He's still at Vanderbilt.
Okay. I just assumed some bigger program would buy him.
He beat Alabama, and he is taking the longest victory lap out of some of the quarterbacks in Winston I've seen since Trent Dilfer. But
wait till Nashville Sports Radio in 20 years.
I think the Big Ten, or sorry, the SEC is incredibly bullish, but they've been allowed to be bullish because they've been so dominant. I would like the Big Ten to, honestly, you brag about the Big Ten more than their commissioner does. You go around.
Hey, I would love to be the Feinbaum of the Big Ten. I'd like to be on the Big Ten Network in the afternoon doing a talk show.
But like, I would love Tony Petitti to be like, you can talk about strength of schedule
Gary.
all you want. You can talk about like the teams that you have to play and everything like that. Who has been the last two national champions? It's been the Big Ten. We've been the conference. We've been at the top. Not enough people do that.
Yeah, the Big Ten wears button-ups where they go all the way to the top, where the SEC, like Sankey, will have probably a button open. Yeah, like there's more chest hair in the SEC
and there you
than
go.
there is in the Big Ten. I think that's the way to boil it down. All right.
I think that's a great way of putting it. I know that you're being like jokey and tongue in cheek, but it is true. They're just more confident.
Yeah.
Like they are the guy who's, a 6.5, 7 at the bar, but he's walking around and he gets beautiful women because he's just confident.
I think it's a religion down there. So they don't really have anything else in the South except for their college football and their college athletic programs. And let's be honest, they're really, really good in their Olympic sports. And they're good in football. They still are good in football. They're good in men's basketball, of course, winning the national championship.
Ass kicking in baseball.
But there's probably a little bit more larger cities that have Big Ten programs, and there's a little bit more to do. And you don't have as many fan bases where it's a religion. We're kind of an oddity following this program because there's so much passion. We talked about this ad nauseum on the show. When it comes to the Big Ten compared to the SEC in terms of fan bases and media coverage, we would like more schools to be like Nebraska in the conference, where it's a passion thing. And sometimes it's unhealthy.
Sure.
But it is what drives the league and drives the attention. And as a result, you have the circus that'll start today in Atlanta for 4 days.
There are so many more teams in the Big Ten who really don't give a damn about football, or just, don't give a damn about maybe
Which
athletics.
teams don't give a damn about football?
Northwestern doesn't give a damn about football.
They didn't go to the Rose Bowl once.
But no, I don't. Is don't give a damn too harsh, because they are building a new stadium.
There are cats, man.
I think don't have a deep passion.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think that's the better
passion for
phrase.
football.
I'm with you there.
They don't
Like
kick their
Northwestern
pet when they
doesn't.
lose.
I don't think Indiana historically does not.
Yep. Until Sig showed up.
Like Illinois, like doesn't have. No, I'm going to be honest with you.
Now it's starting.
So wait. So this is a thing.
Bert, I apologize for
Wait,
last year. That's
wait,
Matt
so-
speaking.
So they are
By the
Get
way,
at him.
he had a major win this weekend in recruiting.
They are great, okay, this year, and they were great last year. And under Brett Bielema, they have been very good. But their students really don't go to the games and are not like lining up to like see.
I mean, it's
their
fair.
team
Their
play.
fans,
They're missing out.
Their fans
Like,
haven't gone.
There hasn't been this like massive advantage at their Memorial Stadium, and so I wouldn't consider them having a deep passion for football. I think those are the three. Well, like Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I
doesn't-
forgot they're in the Big Ten.
Well, there's some. I think there's
Like-
more. When you say there's more in the Big Ten, there are more schools where you go, that's a basketball school over
for sure.
football. Like Michigan State, for example. Michigan State has a nice history of football, and they, of course, would like to be a football power to compete with Michigan. But to me, as long as Tom Izzo is there, and
he has his own month.
They're a basketball school. Maryland's a basketball school.
So Purdue, probably
basketball school.
Fall in the same range, where it's like we've just named literally 33% of the conference for one sport matters more than football.
Yeah. So today, not only the SEC Media Days, but also Home Run Derby. The All-Star Game is here. The break is here.
Will it be 4 hours again? Or did they fix that?
I don't know. Was it start right at 7?
Yeah.
I got McAfee is on set. No Berman?
Yeah.
Or is McAfee and Berman together?
I think it's just
McAfee.
McAfee.
Oh, boy.
I think it's just McAfee.
You know what? I actually would watch that for a few minutes, and because who doesn't like watching a train wreck?
Well,
you got those two together. I'd enjoy it.
What do you mean? I don't know. I don't think it would be an absolute train wreck.
I actually mean it in a good way, though. Why not?
Yeah, he's
Have
not.
some fun.
So Chris Berman not doing the home run derby.
But they also had the draft last night. Everyone is trying to look into how do you get one of those bat etching machines that they were doing after every draft pick.
It's now on our registry.
Am I the only one that thought they were doing it too much? I mean, I thought it was cool the first 5 picks, but then like every time we had to go back to the bat,
we like
see them like I don't know.
Oh, you just didn't want them to show it.
Well, yeah.
But I think it's once you start, you got to do it.
I think the bats. No. I like the bats. I think the bats are cool. It's just the etching of the name into the bats. Like once they showed it for the 9th pick for the 9th time, I was kind of like, I get it. It's a laser. It writes the names.
It's like the Stanley Cup when they engrave it.
I don't know. They were. I mean, it hasn't been. It's very quick. Like it's way quicker than what it used to be. But
well, you noticed what wasn't there for the Major League Baseball draft yesterday?
Stephen A. Smith. That's why I enjoyed every second.
No Kendrick Perkins either.
Yeah. Peaceful.
You know what was not there?
What was not there?
No players.
Oh.
There were no players that were at this year's Major League Baseball draft.
It was a good watch. It is what it is. It moves.
It's not like if the Cash knows the majority of the players that are being drafted.
To be honest, there wasn't much else on TV, but I enjoyed it.
That is true. They could have put the futures game there, but I don't know.
If I did not watch the College World Series, I would not have known 80% of the players that I knew, and that's
I definitely didn't know the first 2 guys.
Well, no,
even though not a surprise because 23 of the first 27 were at least in the top 30 of most consensus. Drafts. Yeah, I mean the mock drafts got blown up. Are you a big mock draft guy?
Well, that's how I follow the draft in terms of like that's how I grade.
Did I get you onto the draft? Because Friday you said you didn't even know it was coming.
No,
did we get you onto the draft?
Can I be honest with you? It was 2 hours before the draft happened, and I was trying to look for something to watch, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot." Like Gary mentioned, this will be on tonight, and then I went through the mock drafts to be like, who's going to get picked? What are good picks? What are not?
Love yourself some mock drafts.
Well, it's a good reference. Is it not a good frame of reference? To be like, this is what these are what the experts think.
So when it comes
happen?
to Major League Baseball, to the draft, mocks are a little bit tough because
the slots.
There's
a lot around.
There's teams that save a lot of money. Like for example, the Cubs save money for the future.
Yes.
The Seattle Mariners, even drafting Cade Anderson, they saved about $700K because they signed him for $8.8 million. The first 2 picks were to save money. So once that happens, like the mock drafts are done off like if you didn't have money concerns, this is what you would do.
So,
but I've never seen it like this year where the first 2 picks, like nobody was like, you know what? That 17-year-old kid from Oklahoma whose dad, Reggie, saw him play at Oklahoma and now he's got a kid. I mean, the whole Matt Holliday thing as well. No one had like Eli Willits is going to go number 1 to Washington.
So I went on the CBS Sports app to then look at the grades because that's how it was like, I am so just not educated on like high school prospects or college prospects or what teams should do. So then I was like, oh, these guys are idiots. And then they both had A's. And so then I was like, okay, I guess they're smart.
Yeah, the Angels guy I wouldn't give an A to. That was a weird pick.
I think that was a C-. I think that one got a C-, and then the 3 of the first 4 picks got A's. But I have 2 complaints because I can never help myself. The first one, the music that they played every time Manfred walked up to the podium, like when the selection, they make the selection, which it was basically just a ripoff of the NFL draft selection. Can we not make something new? Can we not like Like you're
didn't have
trying
this
to
on
you're
my bingo
trying to get
card.
away from other leagues. Like everybody nowadays is just trying to take something that was already great and put a little spin on it to be like, oh, it's ours, or it's like,
Yeah.
it's different and whatever. How about you just make a new draft jingle? Like that'd be cool for the MLB if the MLB made like a dope draft jingle before they made the pick. Like that's different. I'd enjoy that.
that didn't even dawn on me. I didn't
It's
like in the
very
NFL. The
similar.
NFL that is attached to the NFL.
They tried doing that.
Yeah.
There was the same music, and it was literally like a reverb of like the NFL draft music. Like make something different.
I appreciate that it being on TV. It moved quickly.
Secondly,
Not having the players in attendance probably helped with
well, they also, I felt like there was no clock. It was just like the pick was made. They showed the highlights.
that.
The guys talked about them.
There is a clock, but it is it's not like as prevalent as the NFL draft.
Well,
moves.
and the
Like the
trades,
NBA,
not having
did the NBA draft have a clock up?
Yes, they had 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They did.
They had. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it was
Major League
ticking.
Baseball, knowing what I know with Walt Sharp, it moves pretty quickly.
After what I had to suffer through in the first round of the NBA draft, I greatly appreciated that just every pick was bang, 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 bang.
That's what I said. It's peaceful.
I appreciated that, and the pool of talent to talk about the Major League Baseball draft is pretty small. So we got Kyle Peterson last night, guys that follow the college game. So you don't have to put up with the Stephen A. Smiths or the Kendrick Perkins of the world. And it's refreshing because if you watch MLB Network or ESPN's coverage, it was just guys sitting on a set talking ball.
Well,
It was nice.
They weren't doing
Yeah.
doing tragedy porn, all that kind of stuff. They were just talking ball. And those guys know these players, and the amount of people that know them as well as the analysts
Mhm.
on both networks is really, really small. So I think you get better coverage.
it was also too that it wasn't a whole like big production. They weren't like
It's never,
trying.
Major League Baseball's draft is never. Well,
No.
remember, it used to never be televised.
Mhm. You just hear
And
about it.
It used to be over a speakerphone.
They still do that, don't they? For the day 2 and day 3, where they still
They're still in
go-
Atlanta.
Yeah,
It'll start to fly when they get to today and then tomorrow. But no, they used to. There was no centralized location, and you would do it by speakerphone.
I remember
And every prospect was listed by a number.
reading
Like the Mets draft prospect 653, and then the guy in the Major League Baseball office would go 653. That is Bob Smith, left-handed pitcher from Corona, California.
I remember reading Moneyball.
Pitcher.
And they talked about, I think it was the 01 draft,
Mhm.
about that process and the fact that you would have to make sure if a team made a bad pick, you had to mute yourself before
Yeah.
you started laughing or before you started making fun of them, because the entirety of the league could hear them. Where when they drafted Jeremy Brown, who was a catcher who wasn't even supposed to be like drafted, and they took him in the first round, they were like, you could hear people hitting the mute button when we
Yeah.
made that pick because they're all making fun of us. It's just an interesting. It's not a big production, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
think it's a bad thing where we just kind of step up and we go, all right, this is who we're taking. This is why you should like it. All right, cool. Moving on to the next guy. The NFL should do the production. Every other league, I'm fine if you're just like, hey, this is it. Bang, bang, boom, done.
So the Major League Baseball home run derby's tonight. All-Star game is tomorrow. We're on the break. Tennis yesterday.
Incredible.
If you are not Sinner or Alcaraz, I
Good
would
luck.
I would go and play pickleball because they've now combined for 7 straight
I mean, I've
slams.
sinned.
Yeah. Also, we have golf. So see for people that are like this is the worst week of the year. No.
Sports
They
week, not worst
slip-
week.
they
I'm going to have a
slip
great
in the
week.
Open from Royal Portrush, which we will have morning live sports at the end of the week. So the no complaint zone.
I'm ready for Rory to break my heart again. I'm kind of.
He is from Northern Ireland, and Shane Lowry. The last time it was at this course,
He won.
had a nice little Open.
I just think that Rory has been so uncompetitive since the Masters that I'm not even asking for a Rory win.
No.
I'm just asking for him to like be in the mix enough where I have emotion, where I'm like clutching for pearls and I'm like on the floor like I was during the Masters. Also, too, by the way, Dustin Poirier, final fight this Saturday.
Yeah.
Max Holloway, third rendition. It's going to be incredible. Tickets are still ridiculously expensive.
Thank God Goldberg said goodbye
Oh
over the
my
weekend.
He wrestled better than I thought he did.
Overrated. One of the most overrated wrestlers out there.
Without a doubt.
He very rarely
Without a
wrestled
doubt.
too in his long career.
It wasn't even, it was just the length of matches. Like a Goldberg match was 7 to 8 minutes, but he is like, if
It's a good meal
he
too.
kind of accomplished what Lex Luger never accomplished in a way, where like they pinned Luger as the next guy, and he was fine, but he wasn't like the champ. Goldberg was that. They pinned him, he did it. But I mean, he to me will always be the guy who cut Bret Hart's career short. That's kind of what his legacy will be. And you see all these old man wrestlers making incredible money. Bret should have made that money.
Yeah, people referring to him as a legend.
He is a legend. He is a legend. He is a legend.
Do
for
legend? Do legends in that sport get their goodbye speech cut off by TV?
No, but legends. I mean, he was
a bad wrestler. In my opinion.
He was a part of one of the most iconic runs in wrestling in WCW with his undefeated streak. Him losing his title in that undefeated streak is one of the most iconic moments in WCW wrestling. He's consistently
Sounds like
come
UCF
back.
going 13-0.
When also too, him squashing Brock Lesnar, the way that he squashed Brock Lesnar all those years ago, another iconic moment. Like, is he the best technical wrestler of all time? Absolutely not. But
not
he
even
created.
Close. He can't even cut a promo.
But he didn't need to cut a promo. He did not need to get up there and cut a promo. He was such a badass, and he was so big, and he was so athletic that he didn't need to say any words. And like, that is, to me,
Cracky says Goldberg sucks.
The voice of an iconic wrestler, of like the fact that you don't even have to go up there and verbalize why people should care. People just look at you and care. To me, that's enough to solidify that he's just great. He is a legend.
Coming up a little bit later, Evan Bland from the World Herald will stop by. By the way, Greg Sankey speaks at 8:05. Do we want to carry that live?
I
just
think
means
so.
more.
I think
kickoff the SEC media days. Also, a little bit later, we do need to stop apologizing. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You need to stop apologizing.
Just
I know
don't
we
start.
apologize for a lot of things. I'm sorry I did this. Sorry I did that. If you want to make a statement, I'm going to tell you why you don't have to apologize. And this past weekend, Ndamukong Suh, who I think is on many, many lists, but I think he is on a list of one of the most fascinating athletes that has rolled through Nebraska and into professional sports. And let's just leave it at professional sports or athletes. One of the most fascinating people, Ndamukong Suh.
See you in Canton.
With his great career and his retirement announcement might have, I say this a little bit tongue-in-cheek, topped his career. That was pretty cool, what he did this weekend to announce his retirement. But he is completely different from the guy that plays on the field to the guy off the field. Because off the field, if you've ever interviewed him,
I haven't had the honor.
He is really, really nice, and he's very engaging. And
my wife said.
And he's a big picture guy.
Yeah.
And he was always even in his career at Nebraska, was thinking about his future when he wasn't wearing pads and a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the more fascinating people that I think has come through professional sports, and now he's on to bigger and better things, and we can't wait. But man, that was pretty cool how he announced it. I didn't know his father had passed away a year ago, and he hadn't played 22. 22 the last time he played with the Eagles.
He had 8 games with
the Eagles,
so he played half a season.
Yeah, he's on that list as a fascinating person, because there's we know what we think about him around here, but there's all kinds of stories.
Well, I hated him growing up. I couldn't stand him.
I believe
I couldn't stand him.
I believe that us around here, we are in the minority when it comes to Ndamukong Suh.
I couldn't agree more, because growing up as where I grew up and as a Bears fan, like, he was so dominant, and he would kick my team's ass, and he would not be kind about it at all.
Everybody in the Big 12 at the time will agree.
He
kicked their ass too.
Yeah, unapologetically, like, I just a beast, just an animal.
Love to watch.
Just wreck everything. And when he's doing it to you, you're kind of like, screw this guy. I can't stand this guy. And even he is the only person ever that has been able to get me to have solace for Aaron Rodgers. The only person ever who has made me feel bad about 12 on the Packers, because you look at him and he just clearly stomped him. I was like, screw that guy.
You felt bad
now, but
you must have been a child, because Matt today, I don't think would feel bad. Okay.
Oh, no. Today I love
Today, you'd be like,
I watch it back. I'm like, hell yeah, especially because now
be on him.
being connected to Nebraska like I am, and seeing his dominance and watching all the things that I've watched and just how he is, I love him. I think he's awesome.
He just
I
sacked
think
Colt
he's
McCoy
great.
again.
I think he's sick, but I grew up being like, screw this guy. And I think a lot of people were like that because he did that to everybody.
He was a dirty player.
But
I
it
mean,
was-
you got fined $400,000 as a pro. It's okay to say he's a dirty
It's a game.
Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
but I did not see,
Off the
because
field's a
he is
wonderful,
held in
wonderful human
such
being.
high regard around here, and rightfully so.
Sure.
I did not see a lot of former teammates or greats in the NFL wishing him the best.
I think that when there probably is a price to playing the way that he played and acting the way that he played on the field.
But then
But it
back to
got
the
it done.
fascinating part, when he's not on the field,
Amazing dude.
great guy.
His Twitter is great with just like seriously, just like
He makes you think.
like him about his business advice and
Mhm.
like his entrepreneurship and like the things that he moves forward. I know this, this is a stigma about like tackles in general and
Mhm.
football players in general, but you read it and you're like, wow, you're kind of shocked by how just forward thinking he is and how intelligent he is, if I'm just being honest, because we just kind of look at football players sometimes. They're just like, oh, they're just big and dumb and they just kind of just run around and they hit people, but you don't think of
Mhm.
how smart you have to be to play. You have to be so intelligent in certain positions to play football. He's a fascinating though in the regard that he had that incredible season and he should have won the Heisman Trophy. But if you were to go and look up YouTube highlights on just his career, there are as many Detroit Lions highlights, like highlight packages, highlight videos, as there are Nebraska videos. And I think that kind of, I think, gets overlooked at how good of a NFL player he was, if I'm being honest. I think that we look at him as, oh my God, an incredible college career, but I don't think we recognize that he was so good for Detroit. And he was good with Miami too.
Yeah, he
For a little
got
stint.
the big deal, and
He
I
did his
don't know.
Pujols deal. you know?
His stretch with the Lions, and he's racking up all pro honors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk later about
All pros
his,
are rookie.
his trip to Canton. All right, you have the lineup. It's brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. SEC Media Days. Big Ten is next week, 2 weeks from camp. Home Run Derby today, All-Star Game tomorrow. Wednesday, sleep in, and then we have golf. That's how it's going to work.
Oh, I love the British.
You know
show.
what?
Okay.
That's
I'm a
how it's
fan.
gonna work.
I'm a fan. You did that well. You've done that well. You have now given me the outlook of looking forward to this week. But Poirier Holloway, come on, Saturday, 5 sleeps away. No, you guys aren't excited. Can you just be excited for me? Can you just fake the excitement?
No.
Only if a man is going to moon other men. That's all I care about.
Matt could do that from the
Yeah.
window.
I'm not. Why mooning? What?
Well, I'll explain later.
Call a tease.
All right, it's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. All right, the world is a much better place this morning because Elmo has got his Twitter account back.
He lost it?
He
Yeah.
got hacked yesterday
Poor Elmo.
and all of a sudden lost it.
That is a great account to hack. You know, did he tweet inappropriate things? Did the person who hacked him say bad things?
Let's just
Actually,
say
this
that
college
he
football
started commenting on the Epstein files.
Hell yeah.
From the
That's-
Elmo account.
That's
Oh.
incredible. I love that.
We bring in expert Elmo to discuss.
Well, is Count Von Count? Does he still have his Twitter account?
I do not know.
Count Von Count every day just
Underrated.
he just tweets
Like Grover.
another like days in a row.
Yeah.
Like he's just like days in a row of tweeting. And he's like 2,722 days of tweeting. That's what he does.
Our new
Welcome.
Iron Sheik. Rest in peace.
He is back. I noticed that he I mean, unfortunately, he's not back,
Oh,
but the
oh.
Twitter account has come back. He tweeted over the weekend.
Nobody put over the Iron Sheik more than that Vince McMahon documentary. That Vince McMahon documentary really like put over the Iron Sheik. Like, man, he was a big deal and he was really important with Hogan. And I'm like, really? I just remember kids my age now just know the Iron Sheik is the guy who gets really mad at Hulk Hogan on Twitter and the one who wants all of the who wants the Blackhawks to like change their logo and change their name. He gets
You-
really, really
you don't wanna
mad at the
anger the
Chicago
Iron Sheik?
Blackhawks. Like very pissed off at them.
I'm trying to see here.
I think my favorite
Oh, his-
I think my favorite genre of tweets are people being petty with Hulk Hogan. Like when anybody just craps on him or says mean things about him or like
They're
finds a way
telling
to
the truth?
slam dunk.
He's
Oh
a
yeah.
horrible human being.
Well, that's exactly like that's why I enjoy it. Like it's just like no one has ever seen a Hulk Hogan tweet and goes, "Oh no, guys, that's not the full story. Oh no, that's incorrect." Terry's a great friend of mine.
It is also a National Nude Day. Thank you, Matt Coatney.
Wow.
Nude?
Nude, big nude kickoff.
Yeah. It is warm, so
They have nude bowling, by the way, in Pittsburgh.
about that.
Wait, Matt
Yinzes.
Coatney tweeted out it's National Nude Day?
Do you know? Not familiar with his bit?
Yeah.
No, I know his
Every
bit. I
day.
know every day is a national day, but
He doesn't pick them.
Nude Day
He doesn't.
is-
Yeah, he doesn't pick them.
Yeah.
But I feel
He
like
just
isn't there
informs us.
multiple? Isn't there multiple?
Yeah, it's also
Like
National
days?
Mac and Cheese Day.
There you go. I would have let off with that.
He'll get to it.
Nudity over mac and cheese.
I
Nudity
would
with mac and
way
cheese.
Prefer mac and cheese over nudity.
Who hasn't eaten mac and cheese when you're nude?
I think we all have.
I think if you haven't,
No, we
then
haven't.
why haven't you? Late at
You
night,
You did college
I-
run.
Late at
I
night, you
don't-
come home.
I don't.
You live by yourself.
I don't.
It's
I
warm.
don't make mac and cheese and go. Do you know what I want to do? I want to take off my pants. That's never been a thought that goes through my head.
First thing, if I'm by myself and I'm at home, pants come off.
Like
shirt
the
comes on.
Tearaway basketball.
Am I a part of? I love pajamas. I might be a part of a dying breed, but I just
An old
Pajamas?
soul.
I
The little
love
button-downs?
pajamas. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got the footies.
No, I don't have the footies, but I
got some
have
cute ones at home.
I have 7 pairs of pajamas. and
Okay.
about 5 of them came from Christmas,
Wow.
and I think one of them,
Like when you were a Ute and you just kept them, or
no.
last
We
year?
still do to
Okay.
this day the matching Christmas pajamas. We will never
Wow.
stop that.
You should just go the
I've
Anthony
been-
Kiedis and wear a
I've-
sock.
You're making a face at me. Don't worry. I've asked. I go, do we still we're not 12 anymore. We're not 9. We don't have to do the matching PJs on Christmas anymore. Nope. Still doing it. So that's how I get my pajamas every year. But I love them. Nothing better than slipping in to just a nice, just fleece set of PJs.
Wow. I got swamp ass just thinking about it.
No, you don't get swamp
Oh,
ass with
yes, I sweat.
PJs. No.
Oh yeah.
hey, I'm like Alcatraz. I don't.
You
sweat.
don't sweat.
I
yeah.
don't sweat. Me, there's 2 legends in tennis, and then Gary Sharp. We have something in common. We don't sweat. Carlos, Roger, and
I was
Hey,
about to say,
George
is this your
Gervin.
way to get yourself as close to Federer as
Roger
possible.
Federer does not sweat. It's amazing.
Roger Federer is just peak human. I mean, he is just
Good looking man.
seriously,
Mhm.
tall, athletic, well put together, dresses well, incredible
Yeah.
athlete, very nice human, incredibly classy, never had a problem with him at all. Just he's like if Andrew Luck played tennis.
Or Tom Brady.
No, I still think
Tom Brady and Roger Federer. Well, hello.
Tom Brady has done a great job improving his image.
Oh, I'm talking about
Past.
looking like just
But he didn't
stunning
know-
men.
He didn't always. I feel like Roger always looked like that. Roger was always peak that. Tom Brady had to make a lot of money to get the tools that he needed to.
You don't think Tom Brady's always been a good-looking guy?
No, when he was drafted from Michigan, he was a very tall. He was just tall. He was just a big guy, and he was a little pudgy, and he had baby fat on him. Even in what was it, 06 or 07, when he had the long hair, he still had the baby fat on the cheeks. I don't know if you do any surgeries to get your cheekbones looking more prominent, but they were never that way. They were never always that way.
Coming up a little bit later, Evan Bland will join the show. It is in Atlanta with the SEC Media Days, and you have the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. So the SEC Media Days are downtown. The All-Star Game festivities are out in the burbs. They had Beyonce this weekend, so a lot of sequins and cowboy hats walking around downtown Atlanta. And then you had last night, WWE was in Atlanta. This is, to me, I like to people watch because people watch me. I've told you, I frequent the Walmart on 72nd and Pacific here in Omaha.
Great people watching.
Great people watching spot. I have been told that the Irvington Walmart is better than the 72nd and Pacific Walmart.
If you don't want to do the zoo, do something a little cheaper.
The Saddle Creek Walmart is pretty people watching too.
I'm gonna go to bat for mine because I have seen a dude with a machete in Walmart.
Okay,
Danny Trejo.
You win. You win there. But the amount of tank tops that are around that Saddle Creek Walmart, I feel like that is just the uniform.
It is summer.
Even in February, there were a lot of people wearing tank tops.
We had a warm
in
fall.
that Walmart.
Or winter, whatever the hell
There's
it's
a lot of no sleeves going on.
So it's kind of like a normal week in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're entertainment staff, you're security staff, and you're a public servant,
getting paid
you
overtime.
Are drinking that Gatorade of what's going on in Atlanta this week. To me, in terms of people watching, because look at what you have. Let me just remind you what you have going on in Atlanta. Beyonce, MLB All-Star Game, the WWE Evolution, the SEC Media Days. This is like the Noah's Ark of people watching.
You really do.
You vacation just for that.
The hodgepodge of people and demographics that you have there is quite incredible because you have a bunch of just your standard sport fans with baseball. Then you have a lot of young to middle-aged women who love Beyonce. Then you throw that in there with some very raucous human beings, which would be the WWE crowd, which, by the way, if you're going to watch WWE Evolution, you are a diehard. You are in it. You love wrestling, which means that you're even crazier. And then what's the other? And then the SEC Media Days. It just means more.
What do you think in Omaha would, outside of the Walmarts, would be on the Noah's Ark of people watching?
Ooh. I'd have to ask you, Gary. You know better than I do.
College World Series.
Especially when there's an SEC flavor and you mix it with us Omahans.
College World Series, especially after hours, was.
How does Jimmy and John have to do with
right
it?
Now, I know they closed down Rocco's early, but I had people who were in Rocco's, so I had to wait for them. So I was just standing outside of Rocco's for about 20 minutes during that time. Incredible, the people stumbling out and talking crap to each other and things going on. It was insane. So CWS for sure. In Omaha,
what about Berkey weekend? Does that do anything?
Arc of people watching. Well, we don't have enough of a cross section. You could make a case that going to a Nebraska football game is the Noah's Ark of people watching.
Oh, well, in Nebraska, I thought you just meant Omaha.
We'll bring Lincoln actually is Omaha, and I know people who live in Lincoln want to live in Omaha, so we're going to bring you in. Yeah, we're eventually going to have a bullet train that's going to go from downtown Omaha to downtown Lincoln. So we're all going to be together, and then. I mean, we don't have a mayor that probably wants to annex as much, but I'm sure that at some point Omaha is going to overtake Lincoln.
I think
we're going to invade.
I think
there you go.
Nebraska basketball is actually an incredible people watching event too, because those are talk about diehards and talk about people who really, really care about the team and the cross section of people that you have when Nebraska basketball is good, whether it be old, young, student, non-student. If like, you'll get, if it's an Iowa game, you get a bunch of like rival like fans in the building as well. I think it's incredible to people watch during a Nebraska basketball game, because there are, like, if we're going per capita of like people who are into it, like people who are really like, oh my God, life or death, we have to win this game. Like, Nebraska basketball is very high up on that list.
Ed says, no doubt Memorial Park for the concert and fireworks every year.
Zoo. I was driving to Target on like down Dodge, and I did not know that Ringo Starr had that big of a pole.
We tried to tell you.
It was incredible.
He is a former member of the Beatles.
Yes.
Beatles are still a big deal.
Third tier member of the Beatles.
Wow. This is like your A-list comedians.
No, it's Paul, then George, then John, then Ringo. Ringo wasn't even the original drummer. He was a replacement drummer.
That's right. It was Lars Ulrich.
So should he not identify himself as?
No, he definitely. If I was the guy who was a part of the Beatles for 2 minutes, I would identify myself as a part of the Beatles.
Exactly.
Like I would put that on a business card.
Meet ladies that
like
way.
not just everybody, just everywhere I went, I would be. At one point, I was part of the Beatles. There's no greater trump card or social equity, I feel like, than being a part of that band.
No.
That's like telling people in Omaha you work at the Zone.
Like, well, yeah. I mean,
let's go back to your
guys.
place.
If any of those guys ever have to pay for anything again in England, ever. I mean, I feel like any of those guys could just walk in and be like, "I was part of the Beatles, done, paid for."
You might have a little bit of dementia. He's
No.
not in the Beatles. No,
Kate
actually,
Middleton
he
looked
wasn't.
great, by the way. If we're talking about English royalty,
Who?
Kate Middleton.
Should have been booed yesterday.
Why should she have been booed?
Because, but Wimbledon is too hotty toddy for me.
Okay,
I would not be able to take in Wimbledon. I would love to go there. It is on the bucket list, but at the end of the day, I'd be one of those people that are outside watching it on the big screen. It's too buttoned up for me.
I think it's incredible. I love the class of Wimbledon. I love that Yannick Sinner won, and he would run up through the stands, and he's probably the only champion in sports who could run through the stands after winning the biggest title and not get mosh pitted.
They have Wimbledon. We have Joey Chestnut.
They just cleared. That's not a comparison.
You know what? I can't go to.
I
I cannot go to.
But we could all go.
Hey, let's be honest. That you probably
I definitely could.
You like the bougie world.
Mhm.
You very much.
No.
Yes, you do.
He'd have strawberries.
So you're Wimbledon, okay, and I'm U.S. Open.
Oh.
Just what? When we have the U.S. Open, and I mean these guys set it up perfectly for another men's final. Is we don't pop champagne at the U.S. Open, okay? Even if we did and a cork fell onto the court, we'd continue to play at the U.S. Open. At Wimbledon yesterday, it was so Wimbledon, by the way, to have somebody popping champagne and a cork land on the court that they have to have a delay.
Timeout.
But it's not like the U.S. Open's the Waste Management Open,
at night?
That's murder.
At night?
Well, no, I'm talking about within the game. I don't know.
No, at night. At night. You get the night matches in Flushing.
I like Wimbledon. I like the class. It has
I
nothing
do like
has
Wimbledon.
nothing to do with the Lexus Club and Creighton basketball and like me liking bougie things. Okay. And it has just everything to do with the fact that we have just less and less just pure class in sports, and they hold it together. Is it a little over the top? Maybe, but it's their thing. Like they do it right. They do it correctly. Like they understand. Like they, I don't think they get that that's who they are. I love Kate Middleton.
If the British had won the war, this is how it would be in this country.
Is she the Princess of Wales? Is that her official? Is that her official title? She was the Duchess for a while.
Vice President of basketball operations.
I mean,
she's no Mark Tatum.
It's to be considered one of the
Middleton.
best in tennis, you got to win Wimbledon, all right? So you win on grass. But you know what? Yesterday was the end of it. Champagne cork. Who has champagne there? Plus, you know what? Another thing is, you know what? Englishers. You can't handle 77 degrees.
Englishers?
Exactly. That's why I was making fun of them the other day.
Oh, and you know what? You put beans on toast.
Okay, beans on
At
toast
the
is
U.S.
great, though.
Open?
Have you had a full English breakfast?
No.
It is great.
I love my country.
Tomatoes on the vine.
I love my country.
Some
and when we
mushrooms?
upset England in the World Cup next
Baked
year, I'll
beans?
love my country and my sport even more.
Give me a
couple
damn
of
chicken
eggs?
biscuit,
some nice toast.
grease,
By the way, Matthew McConaughey,
gravy.
talk about class. He looked incredible yesterday.
Well,
His
you have
outfit
to. You
that he
can't
had
go
on-
dressed like you.
Whoa.
You can't go there and
Whoa.
sit like that.
My
You
finest
go- you go,
pants.
Hey, I'm in white.
You don't think
Yeah, it's got a Bears logo on it. It's dirty. It's got stains on it.
you don't think I can wear my travel baseball dad quarter zip? I can't wear that
No.
to Wimbledon.
Wear your
Can't just
Creighton
stand on
quarter
the
zip.
side.
Yeah.
You think they sell Coors Light over there at center court? You got old
No.
style? Hey, you got
No.
old style here?
But at the pinky. That's okay. We got our U.S. Open. That's why people hate our country. Okay? They're like, and people at the U.S. Open.
American
Got Malort?
urinating publicly at Wimbledon, like the Brewers game.
Take two of Jack, please.
Cheddar's Cheetah says state wrestling as well.
Two buttoned up.
That's a good Noah's Ark of people watching. All right, one of the books coming up in the next hour, we'll talk about when the Munsters had home run derby.
What?
The Munsters.
It's
Munster
called a
cheese?
tease.
The Munsters. Look it up.
Okay.
Back with hour 2 after this. All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 on a Monday, All-Star Week. Remember when you gathered around the boob tube to watch a little All-Star game? First time that the National League and American League players would be on the same field together. You have memories of Freddie Lynn at Old Comiskey Park.
Off Atlee Hammaker.
Gooden and Crook. Randy Johnson and Crook. All of those. Now you have memories of a botched national anthem.
That's
And
all.
a- and a
God, I
home run
forgot that
derby.
happened last year.
Hey, Ingrid's back in
Is
a
she
big
doing it
way.
again
She's
this
doing
year?
no. I mean,
No,
she's doing better.
She had a step away.
Yeah.
and got things taken care of, and
Yeah.
she's back. Is she touring, or is
think
she
so.
just back?
I think so, but for sure she's back and
There
doing
were
well.
a lot of people who did not understand that she was a legitimately very big country star with a lot of.
I'd never heard of her
She
until
was
that.
no, she was developing. Like she had some hits and whatnot before that incident happened. I'm really going to date myself when I tell you my first All-Star memory, but it's of Prince Fielder
21?
in 2009.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I think were they in Kansas City in 09?
No.
Okay. I don't know where they were at, but I just remember seeing Prince Fielder just walking around. I think it was the year where they had those bright red uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I know that we are all a fan of them going back to like them wearing their regular road
Yes,
uniforms,
sir.
home uniforms,
Home and
whatnot.
aways.
I will say
I'll
though,
know who these dudes are.
I really do think that
Will Bobby Witt Jr. and the Royals contingent be wearing the powders,
Oh, they should.
or will they have to wear the grays?
They'll probably have to wear the grays.
I
think.
hope they wear the grays.
Let them go all 70s. Have fun with it.
Oh, the powders.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the powder blues. I really don't.
Great. Happer's going to be here at 7:20.
Look,
to
I'm
jump
I'm not disparaging anybody. This is a I will admit this is an unpopular take, okay? Probably a bad take. We have too much like light blue in sports in general. Like the powder blue and everything
You
like that.
Don't like the new Cubs.
Yeah.
City
No,
Connect
not really.
You don't like the Smurfs?
like everyone and their
with
mother.
with the hat and the
Yeah,
helmet and
yeah.
the top.
I
they
don't-
pop.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm okay with it.
I'm being honest. I think just everybody and their mother is trying to find a way to get powder blue into their repertoire, whether it be in football or whether it be in baseball or whether it be in basketball. We really have.
I think we should
had
wear
an
powder blue here
epidemic
tomorrow.
of powder blue, just jerseys in general. It's just a lot. Now, the Royals get to claim it more than anybody else, okay? Because that is like legitimately one of their colors. But what happened to an old-fashioned gray road uniform? When did that not become enough?
a great uniform. I like it.
Exactly. I know you're making fun of me. I
Very much
love
so.
a gray uniform. I love a gray uniform too that says the city, when it says the city, when it doesn't just say like the team, when it's just like Oakland.
Well, you have
You know,
so
or
it's a
like-
requirement.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
are wearing a road uniform, it has to have the city. If you're at home, you have the.
Exactly. I love it. I love a gray. We just have too many powder blues. Too many uniforms in general.
When we
Yeah.
get to the NBA, I'll join you in that argument. But
The NBA has way too many. You get like
You don't even
6
know who the hell's
uniforms a
playing.
year now. You get the City Connect.
what the hell court
then
is
you
this?
get a
I'm changing
jersey.
it.
Then you get a jersey if you make the playoffs, which is crazy. If you make the playoffs, you get a jersey. They make a jersey for you, like a
That
new
you wear
jersey
during a game?
for the next season. You get a jersey.
Oh.
Like they reward you by making the playoffs.
Now that's a little
with it's
extreme.
like you get a new jersey.
All right, kids, if you did not make the All-Star game, remember Chipper Jones in 99 didn't make the All-Star game but won the NL MVP.
I remember.
So there's a chance out there.
That was a great All-Star game.
Before we get to Andrew and Evan Bland's going to join us a little bit later, we had Dylan Raiola sighting again yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I didn't
So he was at the Sand Hills Complex. Beautiful place in Lincoln. Hey, Omaha. It'd be nice to get something like that around here. But they had like the state baseball championships going on this weekend. I know more people in my circle that coach youth baseball than I ever thought. They're all talking about the schedule and it starts here in Omaha and they finish in Lincoln, how that's an unfair advantage.
All right.
And I'm like, okay.
All right, parents, we're starting our tournament in Croatia, and then we'll be taking a trolley over to Spain.
That would be wild if the Nebraska youth baseball started in Croatia.
Well, no, have you ever seen are you on Instagram regularly?
No.
Okay. So there's this guy, he's a really funny skit dude, and his thing is travel baseball. Like he's a
Oh,
middle-aged
oh.
man, like he's a middle-aged
Don't worry, Gary.
like,
He's not on my
parent who
feed
does
on
travel
Instagram.
baseball. and he's really funny. And all he does is just skits about making fun of travel baseball and like parents within it. And that's one of his bits where it's just like we're gonna take a boat over to the Dominican, and then we got to take a little starter plane to Cuba. This is a light travel schedule, guys.
I don't think I have two people that are kind of way. The rest are like, because it's an opportunity for my kid. Nobody else wants to coach. So this weekend they had the state baseball. We had a Dylan Raiola sighting. So he showed up at the Sand Hills complex yesterday, played wiffle ball with the kids. I'm glad the kids are I'm glad wiffle ball is kids and adults. Adult has taken on. You might run into a backyard that looks like Wrigley Field or Fenway Park or the Canyon. Have you seen those guys with the professional football league? Yes, and it's awesome because when I was younger, what I could do with a wiffle ball, if they would throw wiffle balls in the majors, I would have a 20-year career.
You were Reggie Jackson.
Oh, my grip
off the roof
and
of
what
Tiger
I could
Stadium.
do by putting my fingers in the wiffle ball and the way it would dance. Oh, Fred Astaire was like very jealous of the way I threw a wiffle ball.
We should have a wiffle ball at bat challenge. You v me, one at bat.
And get it sponsored.
I think that'd be fun. I think grown men wiffle ball league is ridiculous.
Why? It's activity. It's
Okay.
outside.
You were crapping on fun this morning. Where is
close,
Matt?
You
Bring
stay
him back.
close to the game.
Listen.
It's fun.
If you are a part of the camp of
no.
Wait. Let me finish this. If you are a part of the camp of I'm not going to wear another man's jersey, right? Like I'm not going to wear a jersey with another man with the last name like on my back, right? If you are a part of that camp, I feel like you can't be a part of the camp that loves adult wiffle ball. Okay? Like I'm just saying. It's silly. It's silly. It's grown men throwing a plastic ball at a 8x12, whatever,
Sounds
like
great.
A cardboard thing, and like that's the strike zone, and then they're like using like these like souped up bats and whatnot.
No, you have a catcher. What do you mean
You don't have
it?
You have the little block, like you have a little strike zone. You got to hit the strike zone. You
Call
watch
the catcher.
You watch a wiffle ball league with a catcher.
You got to have a catcher.
Yeah.
Oh no! In these wiffle ball,
What if you have a
leagues,
tip?
They have a block. They have the little strike zone, like a plank strike
I've only
zone. You
seen
throw at
like
the strike
real
zone.
people playing. You don't think you'd get excited
No.
if a backyard here
Well,
in Dundee
okay.
was set up like Fenway Park and they had the green monster?
Hell yes.
And every Tuesday and Thursday during the summer, they just had pickup wiffle ball games. You would come. You definitely would
you
come.
know what?
I worked for
You know
radio
what?
stations that would have sold it and broadcasted
I
it.
support pickup. I support pickup wiffle ball. I support you're at a barbecue and the little kid runs up to you and gives you a bat and a ball and you're like, all right, I'm going to play. What I don't support though is guys who are like having like the thumb thing. Like, they have the major league thumb protector when they're swinging their wiffle ball bat.
Maybe that
Or
might
the
be
guys-
a little bit much.
The guys who have like batting gloves and who are like all like they got their own jerseys and they have
That's
like
all in
eye
good
black
fun.
and whatnot, and they're in a league and they do trades and they do drafts. That's ridiculous.
You play
Like, that
fantasy
is-
football.
That is crazy. That is way too much effort to not get paid, to do that. Now pick
Sounds
up
like
wiffle
radio.
ball. Pick up wiffle ball. If I just go, it's just like, every Tuesday night, like they had somebody who made like old Yankee Stadium, and as a lefty, that'd be incredibly advantageous to me. And I just got invited and I would play. That's great. But a whole wiffle ball league, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I thought I was
a
the
whole
curmudgeon.
wiffle ball
I'm sorry.
league? A whole league?
yeah.
Where you draft and you trade and you sign? That's a lot for a like,
Why not?
kid sport growing up.
Yeah.
Pick up wiffle
Adults
ball,
being
yeah.
a kid.
What's
It's
the difference
great.
between like a softball league? You're just playing wiffle ball.
It's not plastic. It's not like it's not a plastic ball. And it's
so
No one gets hurt.
So what are your feelings on pickleball compared to tennis?
I don't like pickleball.
Okay.
I'm not a pickleball.
So you have the same passion of anti-wiffle ball that you do for anti-pickleball?
Yes.
I think he
Okay.
just hates
All right.
plastic.
Wait. I'm not. First off, if you play pickleball, good for you. Good on you.
But
Yeah.
if you play wiffle ball, no?
If you play a wiffle ball league,
But
a whole
pickleballs have
league-
leagues. Like
Mhm.
I have intense leagues in this town.
Now, so here's the thing. I respect pickleball in a way because they actually have like on FS1 during like the dead of sports season, you can watch professional
This week?
pickleball. Yes.
Exactly.
Professional pickleball is going on there,
Good.
and they've invested a lot of money, and they have broadcasters, and they have people who take it like incredibly seriously, who
Mhm.
probably are making some cash.
There's
doing it.
professional air guitaring on ESPN,
Wiffle
the
ball.
Ocho.
I don't
mean,
know.
I have no
It's-
problem with
and
this.
why am I in the minority here? It's a children's sport, and it's like it's
Baseball
cool
is
to
a
play.
children's sport. Everything's a children's
It's a
sport.
lot of time and effort
To play wiffle ball?
to be in a whole league. I'm talking about the league that I see on Instagram where they're like they have their jerseys.
It's a
and
hobby.
whatnot.
What's wrong with that? Some people do heroin. Some people
Just-
play wiffle
It's
ball.
fun.
It's-
It's just
yeah.
something different. You stay around the game. You have fun.
hmm
You hang out with your buddies.
You stay in shape.
Yeah, you stay in shape. You still have competition. I don't see anything negative
Yeah.
about it.
No,
You sound like a
I'm
pharmaceutical
not-
person.
I'm
I want you to
I'm
be
not-
sick.
I'm not discrediting playing wiffle. Like I told you, if you had pick up wiffle ball, I'd enjoy it. I would be there. But
See, that's
I'm
the mat
talking-
I expect.
I'm talking about the league, though. It's a lot of time and a lot of effort.
It's only one team.
I
can
would
play.
sign on
Forced
the
in-
dotted line immediately if we were having an adult wiffle ball league
Commissioner
in
Sharp.
this town and we were playing on a mini Fenway Park. Sign me up, and every day that ends in Y.
They have a guy, like they have a whole Instagram account, and they're a guy like he broadcasts the games and he announces.
That's
the wiffle
awesome.
ball
That's
game.
great.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Broadcasting jobs are hard to
It's
come
wild.
by.
That is like to look forward to. You get off work on a Tuesday and
Yeah.
you're going to play wiffle ball. You know,
Doing the voice of Vince Scully. Yeah.
not all of us can play in the majors. Just telling you. Not all of us
No.
can get drafted
No.
to be on the All-Star team after just 5 starts.
Not all of us can call games
Don't
in the
hold
majors.
it against the Miz. Not his fault. What was he going to say? No. That'll be a talking point today.
What did Miz do?
Mizorowski?
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Miz.
No. Mizorowski.
Yeah, the fact that he's made what, like 6 starts and now he's an all-star?
5 starts and 25 plus innings.
I have no problem with it.
Yeah, don't hold it against him. I mean, there were 12 other guys that said, I'm good. Home run derby tonight, All-Star game. Tomorrow, we get Scooble and Skeen.
That'd be great.
Skeens and Scooble.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Scooble and
Did you
Skeens.
see the video of Paul Skeens being told by Dave Roberts he was going to be the starter for the All-Star game?
Yes. Did you see that his girlfriend was at Target Field this weekend? She
No.
was there Friday night for the Nelly concert that put 40K at Target Field.
Whoa.
I had friends there too.
Hey,
It got hot in there
Nelly.
Nelly put on a hell of a show.
I bet he did.
over and over again.
Good for
Um,
Nelly.
People were wondering, did Skeens and Ryan, because that was the matchup, sell out Target Field, or did Nelly? But Livy Dunn was there, and she wasn't in a suite. She was sitting in the stand.
With the
Okay.
people?
Wow.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow.
And so one of the things they do on the Target Field video board, like a lot of other places, they will do celebrity lookalikes.
Oh,
So they had the Livy Dunn still shot, and, they find then somebody that looks like her.
And up there are a lot of
and-
them.
And they showed her, and it was pretty funny.
I like that.
And she handled it really, really well.
Was Livy Dunn even born when Nelly was putting out his best hits? I don't think
I think she was born.
she had
You
to
guys
be
are about
like-
the same age, right?
Yeah. I mean, she was, I think we are.
Well, then
The
there you go.
exact
You,
same
you both
age.
won.
When was Nelly's like great? When would you think peak Nelly was? Is that
Fall of 2000,
Okay.
because I remember hearing it a lot in the parking lot at high school.
Good
Not
They
for
were
for-
they were
not from my car.
sold out. They
My-
had 40,000 plus
good for
Friday
Nelly.
night at Target Field for Nelly.
Good for
2000
Livy
Huskers
Dunn
were
too.
good.
That's an easy way to earn a lot of street cred. Being born in the 2000s, like not being born yet when Nelly was big, but being a really big Nelly fan. I feel like Nelly's like one of those. Nelly is like, you know what I'm saying? If you're
A lot of
fan
people like the
something
Beatles
that
and they
you
weren't born
weren't
then.
around for during the peak, like you had to go back and seek it out and appreciate it. Like I feel like nowadays, like that's an easy way to earn a lot of street cred.
Okay.
Like if you're like,
Like
a,
Ella Fitzgerald.
yeah,
I
like if
wasn't
you're-
born for
like
her.
if you're an OG, like if I told you that I was a massive Ja Rule fan, that I knew like all of his
Yeah.
his like greatest hits and whatnot, I feel like you would look at me differently. You'd look at me more fondly. You'd be like, "This kid's cool."
Let's talk to Andrew on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, Blaze.
Andrew, how you doing?
Good. I'll tell you what. The Ocho has a bunch of wiffle ball adult tournaments. It's wonderful.
Does that prove the
And
point? I think that proves my point. If anything, if it's
Greatest
on the
country
Ocho.
in the world.
I think there should be a wiffle ball World Series. I'll go that far. But anyway, if I was a kid and my parents built me a wiffle ball field,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
take that over anything. A pool, a basketball
Oh,
court.
now we're talking.
Really?
Get me a wiffle ball field.
Thank you for the advice.
you
I'm going
would-
to take that into
You would
consideration.
take a wiffle ball field over what if I told you an in-ground pool growing up?
Yeah, I have those. Give me a wiffle ball thing.
Wow.
It's Nebraska. It's cold here 6 months out of the year. Give me the wiffle ball.
No, if you give me like a wiffle ball field with a fence, everything, all the jazz, I take
Organist?
that for anything.
Hmm.
But anyways,
Organist.
Wimbledon is like just disgustingly boring.
Oh. And in the surroundings or the tournament?
It is so clean.
Oh.
Like they all wear white, you
Yeah.
know. Some Italian ginger wins the tournament. I mean, what are we coming
one of
to?
the best
Italian
tennis-
guy?
tennis
No,
players
he
in
is
the
pretty
world.
damn good. He's
Yeah.
27-1 in his last 4 majors. So.
I know.
Yeah.
But Italians aren't really athletes. Let's be honest about it.
Whoa.
Tell me more.
We're good. We're good at making Italian loafers, but that's about it. So,
Hmm.
I find it boring.
Okay.
And also, the baby blue uniforms, if I'm correct, I think they're terrible. And I love the Red Sox, and I think they're called
Ooh.
City.
Oh, their new City Connects,
Oh, I'm with you.
though.
Yeah.
Their new City Connects, though, they changed. This year's City Connects, I think, are some of the best.
Are they green?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I like the
they're-
monster.
Those are,
You don't
yeah,
like
but
you-
the
you don't
baby
like
blue
those?
with neon yellow, it's like we're back in the 80s.
Yeah, they've dumped
Yeah.
those. So those were
But,
the tributes to the bombing. But this year they have the green ones, like the color of the monster that just say Red Sox. They pop a little bit. They still have the numbers are that yellow.
And I may be saying this, but isn't Marquette the ones that kind of originated wearing the baby blue
I don't
in
know.
their basketball uniforms in the day?
Ooh, back in the day with Al McGuire, I think you're onto something, Andrew.
Mhm.
I will go back to say those were sick. Those were great uniforms.
Yeah, and
But-
they had the things on the side.
I think
Yeah.
those are some of my favorite uniforms of all time. But
Hmm.
I'm sorry, Matt, why you don't enjoy the comment of the wiffle ball and stuff, because your generation played too many video games.
No, we played wiffle ball.
No,
this
you
is
didn't.
this is just a grumpy old man take from me. That's all it is.
He's become me and I've become
Hey,
him.
thank
It's like
you.
some sort of.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Andrew.
First off, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, like
Great. You're going to say that.
Dan
Overrated.
Marino, Vince Lombardi, like pretty
How
great
did Dan Marino get slipped in there? Keep going.
Italians. These are all
Oh,
I
Italians.
figured that's what you're-
Okay.
These are all
Okay.
all Italians.
I was like,
You know,
where are we going here?
This SAT question, which one doesn't belong?
like Mario Andretti, like incredible. Is Lou Pinella? Is Pinella Italian? Pinella sounds Italian.
Marco Bellinelli,
Thank you.
NBA champion Marco Bellinelli.
I mean, some great
Recently retired.
Italian. You know, there's some big, incredible Italian athletes. Danny DeVito or Tommy DeVito.
Oh, that Danny DeVito, man.
Tommy
that,
DeVito.
Danny
that
DeVito
dude
got in the way.
Tommy
in the
DeVito.
pivot. Damn.
Chris Fowler, better at tennis or college football?
Ooh,
Tennis. Not even close.
Tennis.
Hmm.
He was great yesterday.
He's
That
natural
whole
for
tennis
tennis.
broadcast, McEnroe, whatever you think about him, right, and what he did in the past as a player, they are awesome at broadcasting tennis. They don't. I don't know if
You
there are
can
too
tell they
many-
care.
I don't know if there are too many sports that do a better job of like propping up their athletes and like promoting their product than tennis. Like
I mean,
that, I am so excited for the next time Sinner and Alcaraz play. And in the post match, when they broke down what they were saying, like when they were doing the interview on the court after the match, and when they were just kind of summarizing the entirety of the tournament and what the outcome meant, I felt like they just did an incredible job of just showing you where the state of tennis
They make
is
you care.
and how good
well, you have-
Alcaraz is
you
and
have
how
two
good Sinner
guys.
is.
You have two guys that are going to be around for a while,
Mhm.
and that's nice. I mean, Sinner had to win
He did.
because this rivalry was starting to become one-sided, and he just dominated yesterday. You know what I also appreciate about my friend Carlos is that he was not distraught.
No.
You know, and they have the the person that loses gives an interview and they say some things, which isn't always it's a little bit difficult to do.
Odd.
But Carlos knows that he's going to get him. Like some athletes, when they lose a championship and they're like, I have no hope. I'm not beating that guy. Carlos knows he's got Sinner. He's got Sinner, and I will see you in New York.
It was
in
funny.
August.
It was a little funny
good
when
promo.
Sinner was having his speech, and he kind of told Alcaraz, like, keep going, you'll win some of these one day. And Alcaraz was like, dude, I got more than
That's
you.
why.
What do you mean?
It's a nice little rivalry between one that's likable and the other that is unlikable. And the one that is unlikable, I'm like, Jesus, you are cold, man. Some of them shots that you are making yesterday.
The backhands down the line.
Sinner has always been real technical. Does anybody bring up that the guy that won Wimbledon yesterday was suspended for PEDs?
Does anybody bring up the fact that he was down 2 sets, or like he was up? He was.
And the guy retired because of a injury.
Yeah, he was incredibly close to losing, and then he ended up winning. But who cares? It's good for tennis. We're going to ignore it. It's good for tennis.
This is Colin writes in real quick here in the Equitable Bank inbox. Chris Fowler, way better at game day than play-by-play.
Oh, absolutely.
I will favorite that email if you can. All right, a little bit later, Evan Bland will stop by as Nebraska has an eye on the draft as it reaches day 2, day 3 of guys that could come back or will go, or are not here yet that might get drafted. So Evan will stop by coming up at 8:30 on 1620 The Zone. Moose Roofing. Oh, they'll show up when you schedule an inspection. All right, we've had a recent round of storms, and you're probably thinking, okay, my roof has got a little bit of damage now. What do I do? Oh, geez, I got to work with a local contractor. Yes, work with local Moose Roofing. They're the MVPs of roofing in Omaha, and they're there to protect your most valuable asset. Guys like Sean Michael, who's a project manager, this is how it works. So you're thinking, how much is this going to cost? Is this going to be a pain in the butt? Not with Moose Roofing. You schedule an inspection. They'll come out. They'll explain everything throughout the process. They'll make things as smooth as possible. They take everything off your plate, and they go to work. They sit down with you. They get to know your issues, what you would like to have inspected, and then they get on your roof. They got pictures. They got video. They've got the extensive knowledge of saving you money and doing it the right way so they never have to come back. And then you're thinking, okay, we got a plan, and I got to call my insurance agent. And they go, well, either Sean Michael or even Pat Moose will pick up the phone and they'll go, here's the situation. They've got a whole department that is invested in working with your insurance company. Top to bottom, Moose Roofing will take care of you, whether it's roofing, siding, or gutters. Stay local. Stay with the best that's been in business for nearly 30 years. They're here before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. They just don't roll into town and say, let's put a roof on. You know what? They're here all the time. Moose Roofing. For more information, go to the website today, mooseroofing.com. All right, Sean on Twitter about Chris Fowler, who tennis is in a good spot. Brian Anderson was really good at the French Open. He was the TV voice of the Brewers and does NBA basketball, college basketball. Fowler, way more passionate about tennis and college football. Watch his IG videos. One of his prized possessions is a bench from Wimbledon from Dick Enberg.
He was awesome.
That's why we like a bunch of other announcers during college football season, because you can just tell.
Well,
but on game day, Fowler was the GOAT.
Sometimes, game day, he's the best host.
So good.
And
I love Reese.
They turned Fowler, who was a great host and the SportsCenter guy.
Yes.
And Ravitch, who SportsCenter guy, trying to make them into play-by-play guys.
They were so good.
I don't think he's, and I don't, you guys aren't saying this, but I still think he's good at college football.
Well, he doesn't suck.
Yeah, he's not awful or anything like that.
But he's more like Keith Jackson, the football player, versus Keith Jackson, the announcer.
He was able, he does a great job when he does tennis of showing passion, but also being incredibly buttoned up. And I think he is awesome at letting that broadcast breathe, but then also reacting properly to, like, when Yannick Sinner does a trick shot out of nowhere in the third set. Just very random. But
maybe his cadence is perfect for that. It's
a little slower.
Yeah. And that's not an insult. I mean, that's why some people are so good at baseball. They just have a natural ability to let it flow with a conversation. And it's a gift.
He's a big game guy now too, though. Like when there's a big game nowadays, I envision Chris Fowler doing it. Like I think that Mike Breen, Chris Fowler, and Jim Nantz are like three guys that when I think, like, if I were to hear their voice, I would assume it's a big event. Minus like a Knicks game. I don't know if there are too many of those guys. Like maybe Joe Davis or Joe Buck is in there too. Joe Buck for sure is in there.
Did you see, now that the Major League Baseball draft is over, Michigan had the only school that had a first-round draft pick in MLB, NBA, NHL, NFL.
Can you
take that, Ohio State?
Michigan men.
So can you name all five? I could not name all five.
No, but I do know that Voit, who got selected in the first round by the Mets yesterday, is the cocaine guy.
The what?
You know, when he had his celebration of...
That's what we used to call Michael Irvin back in the day. Also call him a champion.
To be fair to Michael Irvin, there were a whole host of athletes who were doing
I'm not judging. I only care that my team won. I don't care what they did off the field.
They call the 1984 Bulls the traveling cocaine circus.
Well, he is the guy that this season slid into third base and then pretended like he was snorting the foul line. So he had to issue an apology. But he went first overall to the Mets yesterday.
That's awesome. That's incredible. There's a pro wrestler who imitates Kane, but his name is Cocaine. And then he like brings in a white powder, and they give the cocaine to Cocaine, and then he like puts it in his face, and then he gives a guy a tombstone or a choke slam. And it's awesome. It's incredible theater. Incredible entertainment.
That's the Matt I know and love. You're back.
Nice.
Oh, the Matt you know and love is currently looking at the odds for the home run derby, and
there we go.
That's the Matt you know and love.
Cal Raleigh's still the favorite.
Plus 300.
O'Neal Cruz is second, I think.
Plus 330. James Wood is plus 400. I don't know if you've seen though James Wood practice for the home run derby. Those videos on Twitter looks incredible. Then you got Byron Buxton plus 850. Matt Olson is plus 900. Shout out ATM, also known as Shane Van Ginsberg, this week too for winning at Sonoma. Never a doubt. Never a doubt.
So spending some time around the Twins recently, Byron Buxton, who had a hit for the cycle on his bobblehead day on Saturday, and he finished it with a home run, is the most physically gifted Minnesota Twin. And he's finally healthy, knock on wood, and he's an all-star. You watch my buddy, one of my favorite people, one of the first people I ever met in professional baseball, and still friends to this day, is the third base coach for the Twins, Tommy Watkins. Truck Buck took Tommy to Atlanta last night. He's his pitcher today in the home run derby. So good luck to him. I like O'Neal Cruz.
Okay.
But the problem with the home run derby is, does anybody understand the rules?
See, I don't even, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't look up the rules yesterday, or because I knew we talked. I did not look up, or I've done no research on it because I know that they probably changed, and I know that it's probably different. And I'm just going to wait until I sit down in front of my TV today at 6:00 for them to show me a graphic.
But if you're betting on it, don't you have to understand the scoring?
No, I think I just take middle odds and a big bat. That's kind of how I approach it. There are some bets where I think you have to do a lot of research in order to, I think player props and over unders and whatnot. I think you've
accepted the L.
Yeah, no, I think the home run derby is.
Well, you don't understand the scoring.
Right.
Like it would be nice if hey, this guy hit the most home runs, but they got a special ball and then they got a time. Then you can take a timeout, and then you get your teammates come out and they give you a towel and they wipe you off.
The money ball. I think the stupidest rule ever is the whole, if you hit a ball over 440 feet, you get an extra 30 seconds. That is so stupid. Just I don't know why we're trying to I know where I'm trying to reinvent the wheel, because they want to throw the pink balls that are sponsored by T-Mobile or whomever, Bingo. So they want to find a way to sponsor that.
But don't we like the long dong?
Yeah.
I don't like the short dong. I like the long dong.
What happened to 10 ounce? Yeah. What happened to 10 ounce? That was perfect.
Yeah. See, that's a little bit confusing because you don't understand the scoring, and then there's a bunch of people screaming, and Berman is going back. Well,
then you have
halfway to insert city nearby.
Yeah, Bryce Harper and his pops who are still throwing balls before the ball lands, where it's clearly the whole broadcast. They're saying he cannot throw the ball until the ball lands, and it's literally in the air. And Mr. Harper is throwing in balls.
Still with that though,
Schwarber should have won.
I think the home run derby is overtaking in terms of popularity. The Monday is more popular than the Tuesday, and that pains me to say that as somebody who has never missed an All-Star game. Watching an All-Star game, I remember watching it with my dad growing up. I bought the books when I learned, hey man, they used to have a doubleheader. Like before Interleague came into play, it was special. That was the only 2 times a year those players would be on the field together. All-Star game and the postseason. I get it. You got to change. But the popularity of the Tuesday night is kind of being lost by what happens on Monday. It definitely will not lose out in a popularity contest to the Futures game, which was played Saturday while most of Major League Baseball is playing, and it got lost once again, which is a great event. I don't know why they don't play it like last night.
Right.
Have the draft start during the day.
There was no Sunday
on
night
Sunday,
game.
Monday, and Tuesday.
Sure.
Okay? And play the Futures game on Sunday night because it gets completely lost. It happened this weekend, and it really wasn't marketed, but it's a good event with the top prospects that are playing.
You see some really good players.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know what's going on. They almost put more attention to the draft now, and I'm guessing that the baseball fans know more about the players that would be in the Futures game than they do about the people that are being drafted. But I think the home run derby has got a chance to eclipse the popularity of Tuesday night, and that is sad for me to say.
I don't think they ever should have stopped the home field advantage in the World Series part of the All-Star game. Yes, guys, it was weird.
Of all the takes, this might be the
what?
I'm listening.
Why are you
listening?
Why is this a bad take?
It was a stupid
I'm not
rule.
saying it's a bad take, but I'm vehemently against you. So
okay. It was weird. I don't really have an argument for it other than it made the game matter in a way, and it was a cool little twist. And we are in an era of sports where we like removing just weird things that we do and unique things that we do, and we try and make everything as uniform as possible. Mm-hmm. And I think having the home field advantage to be determined in the All-Star game, was it weird? Yeah. Was it strange? Of course. But did it add an element to the All-Star game where it mattered in a way and we cared about it a little bit more and it was a nice little caveat? Yes. Do I think
with the glowing puck, that decision ranked right up there.
The glowing puck.
Why would you put having home field advantage for the World Series on the line in an exhibition game where you can say, oh, it means more?
If I play for the Rockies, that does not mean anything.
Are my starters going 9 innings?
No. But
so I'm leaving it up to Miami Marlin to determine if I get home field advantage
and
or
a
not.
different manager.
And I just won 116 games in the regular season.
I like the weirdness of it. I like weird things in sports. It was I told you before. I don't really have a sensible argument for it other than it was weird and it made it was a caveat and it made the game more competitive. And I kind of liked it being weird and it being a strange caveat.
So do you think basketball games should end with an Elam ending? Then you like
I
weird,
liked it
weird
in
stuff.
I liked it in the All-Star game when they did you got to reach X amount of points. I
Mhm.
enjoyed that
Not
very
Jason
much. at
Should
the
that
NBA
have
All-Star
should, maybe
game.
that then should that determine who gets home court for the NBA Finals, or is
Okay.
this just a baseball thing?
It was just a weird baseball thing that they
I
did.
think it was a stupid idea. I think it was a terrible
I said
idea.
stupid with a word in front of stupid, but yes.
You can't.
I like that it was weird. I like that it was strange.
You can't. It's an exhibition
Well,
game.
because they
okay?
effed up the
Here,
0-2 game.
I have zero argument.
Jimmy, they've effed up a lot of stuff in baseball that we're trying to backtrack.
We should have had a wiffle ball World Series in '94. Just saying.
I really don't have it. This is just one of these Matt likes weird sport things, and it was a weird sport thing. And I kind of did enjoy how just strange it was.
This might be a great
That, like,
segment idea.
I would
Actually, I'd
be-
listen.
I'd be watching the 2015 World Series game, and I'm like, well, the Cubs are going to be good. This actually kind of matters to determine whether or not the Cubs have World Series advantage in the future.
Which
But
the
they,
Royals
but
had.
they lose it because of some
it
guy
was
that
it
has
was a-
been sitting for 10
you
innings.
you have all of the arguments, and you are correct. But it was one of those things that was strange and it was weird, and I liked it. Okay, I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was like, all right, this is kind of what we do. Like, you just can't, the All-Star game determines the biggest series of the year, who gets home field advantage. Look, I'm not pushing back.
So bad.
I'm not pushing back on the dumbness of it or the stupidity of it and how
I like the
you
Ghost
the
Runner.
record- Yeah. Well, I don't. But
I know.
it was just
I think baseball.
it was a strange thing that
Ba-
I was kind of like, I can put my wagon
what?
on it. I like weird
Baseball
stuff.
listens to their fan base more than other sports
Without a doubt.
because their fan base said this is the stupidest idea, and they're like, yeah, I agree. Baseball fans said games are taking way too long. So look what we did. We got a pitch clock. Pitch clock's been fantastic. Baseball fans are like, umpires, what are we doing here? Phil Cuzzy, what are we doing? All right, ABS is coming next year. We need to stop also. They're not robots. There's not going to be those creepy things that are running down the hill in China this morning as they're testing out robots.
Not
and they
RoboCop.
give me the freaks. They're not going to have robots behind the plate. They're still going to call balls and strikes, but they're going to have the challenge system. So I think baseball listens to their fan
Without a
base
doubt.
and they tweak it more than other sports. So I'm glad with that. But with that said,
No
home run-
Ed 209 at home plate.
What now?
Ed 209 from RoboCop.
Hey,
You're out.
Hey, I'm watching all these robot movies, or not movies, but videos.
We're in trouble.
So in China, I mean, you got dogs that are robots, but they have, this morning I'm watching this one of they're testing a robot being able to run down a hill. And it's pretty scary because it's pretty damn lifelike. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know I'm going to be replaced. Someday, like next week, you're going to tune in for Big Ten Media Day coverage on the station. And it's going to be 6 robots talking. Okay, I know that's eventually coming.
Is rural recruiting?
So the robots freak the F out of me.
Jimmy, good question.
So they're not robot umpires. They're still going to call balls and strikes, but there will be a challenge system. With that said, home run derby. So did you ever watch ESPN Classic? Was ESPN Classic around?
No.
Rest in
Jimmy
peace.
will remember this.
Oh, hell yes.
So there used to be Wrigley Field in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And it was the home of the Home Run Derby,
Mhm.
which was a television show. And then they brought it back on ESPN Classic.
On the Dumont Network.
I was in school. I was still in Urbandale. Maybe the late 80s, early 90s that they brought it back.
Okay.
And so they would show old home run derbies. Now, the Munsters, I mean, when
Here it is.
he went to rookie camp with the Dodgers, was at Wrigley Field in Los Angeles and was hitting bombs. So I'm thinking, if I had the ideal home run derby of all time, who would I have in it?
Ooh,
Now,
great question.
Herman Munster is not eligible for this. But think about if you had the all-time home run derby and you
Mhm.
could only pick 3.
Ooh, Ken Griffey Jr.,
Okay?
Pete Alonso,
Okay?
and Barry Bonds.
Okay?
Those are my 3. For Barry Bonds, greatest long ball hitter of all time.
Mhm.
Ken Griffey Jr., most iconic, I would say, home run derby performance. One of the more iconic home run derby performances. And
And then Pete Alonso?
Pete Alonso is just That's his event. It was a pretty poor reflection that Pete Alonso could make way more money winning the home run derby than what he got for playing throughout the entirety of the year. But it was sick. He was like, "Yeah, this is my paycheck, man. Means a lot to me. This $1 million is incredibly important."
I think I would do Bonds. I agree with you on Bonds. I would do Babe Ruth, and then I would do Hank Aaron.
Oh, you're going like I kind of based it off
like
of
all
the
time.
derby. Oh, all time.
No, all time.
Oh, Roger Maris, Barry Bonds, and Ken Griffey Jr. That's what I would do. Hank Aaron's
a good list.
That's a great list. Ruth and Aaron, Bonds. I don't think
you could do fictional characters. Like you could have Herman Munster, and then you have Roy Hobbs.
Oh, Serrano.
Luke Collins, who almost beat the Mariners in a 1-game playoff for the Twins.
You don't want Serrano being in a home run derby?
I think there's more.
He can only hit fastballs.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But if you're throwing,
that's true.
Serrano would kill any sort of
he does have
fictional baseball character. Scott Hatterberg.
I think Roy Hobbs would win a fictional home run derby.
He's good.
No,
but Babe Ruth could also be in it because Babe Ruth was in The Natural.
Mm-hmm.
No, it'd be Serrano. It'd be Serrano every time.
Benny the Jet.
No, I'm not putting Benny in the Jet. Benny in the Jet didn't even play college ball.
He played for the Dodgers.
Or did he end up playing for the Dodgers?
Yeah, he had a 20-year career. Still home as an old man.
All right, home run derby tonight. What do they have? It's on radio, right?
It is. Maybe not in Omaha.
Can you imagine doing the no? There is no baseball. The only baseball that is on this station.
Yeah.
But we don't have a Major League Baseball contract. Can you imagine doing the home run derby on radio?
That is long gone.
Yeah.
Done. Long gone. Out.
What is, you know what? They should put Berman on the radio.
Oh.
That'd actually be great for Berman. Would that not be good for, it would just be 3 hours of just hearing back. That'd be really good.
We'll take a break, come back. Evan Bland's going to join us in the next hour. A week from Big Ten Media Days, 2 weeks from camp. Nebraska goes back to work. 2 weeks. We're almost there. We're getting closer. This weekend, if you got the itch, maybe you drove around the campus in Lincoln or wherever you live, and you're like, I'm going to drive by the stadium. It's silent now. SEC Media Days. Greg Sankey speaks in just a bit when he lambastes the Big Ten.
Do you think there are
takes a swipe at your mark?
There are just people who are standing outside of Memorial Stadium right now, just breathing in the air, just saying to themselves,
why wouldn't you?
44 more days.
Why wouldn't you? I would. I'd be there. I can smell it.
It smells like 8-4.
I can smell the new turf.
I could smell the red paint.
Where's Dylan?
I could smell the screen passes.
Dylan's playing wiffle ball with kids again.
That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, he relates better to kids than adults, I think.
Yes.
We're back with more of
I agree.
Gary and Matt after this. You over there being Mr. Instagram.
Yeah.
Does Dana Holgerson have Instagram?
I can check.
He should.
I don't follow him, but I can check.
I don't either.
Because he has just recently returned from Key West.
Hell
Good for
yes.
him.
So Dana Holgerson is going to be a star coming up next month on ESPN.
What's he a part of?
Sunday Night Baseball.
So Omaha Productions,
It's here.
Eli Manning is doing a show on Mike Leach.
Oh.
So there will be a documentary coming to ESPN next month that is called Air Raid. And Holgerson and Hal Mummy and a couple other coaches just recently were in Key West,
Perfect.
just sitting around telling
That's awesome.
Mike Leach stories that will air on this documentary. And it's supposed to be released, I think, I was told over the weekend, maybe right before the start of the college football season. But yeah,
Damn,
Eli
be
Manning was down in Key West to assist with the production. And it was just people that have worked for Mike Leach. They just sat around and told stories.
Pretty sure Holgerson talked about being in Key West with Mike Leach at a press conference that got DeKeel Shorts told a story about being in Key West with Holgerson and Mike Leach. And there's not a lot of things that get like that big of a laugh at just press conference in general. That one got a massive one because just everybody immediately put two and two together, and DeKeel did a great job of being like, oh yeah, it was like that. Dana Holgerson.
Well, that's where what's his name? When John Cohen was the athletic director of Mississippi State, that's where he interviewed Mike Leach for the Mississippi State job.
Dana Holgerson does not have an Instagram.
Okay.
But Dana Holgerson has there's an account that's titled Dana _Holgerson hair. And it's just pictures of Dana Holgerson's hair and just how frizzled it is and how lacking it might be to say. And then the bio says, I like Red Bull in all caps. So
It gives you wings.
how big of a college football sicko do you have to be to make like a Dana Holgerson fan / parody account?
Makes sense. We live in Nebraska.
Have you not seen all the faux?
No, I know.
Shout out Faux
but
Pelini.
That's like Nebraska. I'm not imagining people from West Virginia or really. Does West Virginia have their own Faux Pelini? Do they have their own Ghost of Frank
Those
Solich?
are passionate people.
I'm sure any fan base has a bunch of faux accounts.
There
used to be a Twitter account around here that was dedicated to the head coach's pants.
Yes.
My first great hater in this industry was the Ghost of Frank Solich Twitter account. This just burner Frank Solich account. And no matter what I would be doing, on Big Ten Plus, whether it be softball or baseball or basketball, that Twitter account made its way to make fun of me, and it was incredible.
You should be honored. Yeah,
and it built
Frank.
a lot of character.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked for it. It does not exist. It appears
Not anymore.
No.
Ghost of Frank Solich.
Evan Bland coming up in about 30 minutes. When we come back, Sue retired over the weekend, but he will never retire around here. We'll discuss coming up next on 1620 The Zone. Hi, good Monday morning. It is not the worst sports week of the year. It might be a little bit slow, but it is what you make of it. ESPYs, the Open.
Uncle Gary's life advice. I appreciate
Baseball
it.
is back on Friday.
Are the
Home run derby.
Are the ESPYs really like that prominent that we have to acknowledge
It's a
that
waste
they're
of time.
happening?
Have you not been watching ESPN? Everywhere you look, ESPYs, Shane Gillis.
Okay,
making fun of your favorite
See,
team.
there you go.
So
I
there
haven't
you
seen
go.
it in 15
No, no,
years,
no.
so I.
But I'm in for the monologue. I'm
Yeah.
in it for that. Outside of that, I don't give a damn of who the team of the year or the athlete of the year or the play of the year or whatever.
It
of
ended
the
after
year.
Norm Macdonald for me. That was the best one. And
John Cena did a great job of doing that monologue. Like that was great.
he's
broke,
no Norm.
broke kayfabe, but I mean he was pretty incredible. He dropped a Coco Beware joke. It was absolutely insane.
Norm dropped
I
an
only
OJ
watch
joke.
for the I don't
Yeah.
really don't give a damn. Peyton Manning
He should
was
not
great.
have been dinged for the OJ joke.
No, brought it himself.
Shane Gillis won't make an OJ joke.
He will make an OJ
He
joke.
will make an OJ joke. That'd be great. if he
Maybe
made an
orange
OJ joke.
juice, but
I want it to be awkward. I want it to be strange. I want them to be offended by him in a way. I mean, it's a bunch of incredibly talented millionaires, where at least the bulk of them are, all sitting in a room. Like, shouldn't take that personally. Just let the water roll off the back, let Shane Gillis go up there, joke around, do some entertainment. It'd be great. And then I'll click off immediately and I'll go watch last year's Wisconsin game or
maybe go to Superman.
tomorrow.
I got this idea about Superman, who, everybody is debating the movie.
apparently
Yeah.
people are up in arms
Made it
about
highly-
stuff.
made it
highly
very
debated
woke,
movie.
but I think it did pretty well at the box office.
Yes.
They
Why
nearly
don't-
broke even.
How would Superman be consumed if he was just an average Joe that looked like me?
What do you mean?
Like Superman is chiseled. Superman's a good-looking guy.
He works out.
What if Superman? Would people still be hating on Superman if he was just a normal-looking guy?
Look like John Goodman.
It's called Iron Man.
Huh?
Like that's. I'm just imagining. Like you. And no offense to this guy, but Josh Gad is the next Superman. You cast him. Can you imagine if
Olaf?
Can you? Yeah.
But he doesn't get in shape.
He doesn't.
No,
not at all.
no.
Just Josh Gad is
Jonah
Superman.
Hill before he
That
lost the
actually would be-
weight.
That would be a really funny movie. Or Joe. Well, that's one of the best jokes in the Ted.
Josh
movies.
Gad is the
is-
next 007.
is
What
when
if you saw the preview for the next Superman movie and it was a guy that was had a dad bod? Would you react that differently? Would you be so woke?
But if okay.
People
So
having debates. Just
if
there's just
Jonah
there's
Hill-
just crazy talk going on
if-
about Superman.
if
People
Jonah-
bitch just a bitch.
If Joe, okay, thank you, Jimmy. 'cause
Dad
that's
taught me
exactly
that
what it is.
Hey,
30 years
that's
ago.
that guy.
35
That's
years ago.
exactly. Sometimes I bitch just to bitch.
He said,
but-
boy, some people are just going to bitch for the sake of bitching.
Jonah Hill. Though,
Look at your mother.
if he was Superman.
like, okay.
Jonah Hill was Superman, and that classic Ted 2 joke, right? If that actually happened,
That's a great
but they
family
made it out to be like a comedy movie,
Yeah.
right? I would buy that. I think it would be great, like multiverse, different Superman, where he's like, he's a fat double lard.
Wallace
And
Shawn,
he's-
look him up.
Exactly. But he's like the strongest man in the universe. That'd be funny. Now, if they tried casting Jonah Hill, but then tried doing a super serious Superman movie,
Yeah.
like a really emotional Superman movie, I could not do it. The entire time, I would be like,
Gabriel Iglesias is
I'm
Superman.
hearing- you know what? After watching your bougie Wimbledon, and they show all the
but
celebrities,
how did it become my bougie Wimbledon? I
Because
just like that it has class.
I'm a man of the people. You are a
This is
person
ridiculous.
that likes
This
to
is-
employ the people someday.
No, I am a man of the people too. I
You are
frequent
super
bars
rich people.
bougie.
and the casinos, and I have a great time. I love putting down beers with people and talking to people. But I
Yeah,
also
only if it's at the Jim Beam Club.
I'm still light.
Hey,
the Catalina Club.
I could be standing next to you out on the concourse. No, you know what? If you want to drink with me, you're going to have to pay up to come inside of the Jim Beam Club. I'd be like, you know what?
Come up to the
Hey,
Delta Sky Lounge.
Let's
with
just
me.
go in the parking lot. Let's stand in the parking lot. You know what? I'll pop open my trunk. I got beers in there. I got chairs, and then we'll go in and we'll walk around the concourse drinking a beer. That's me,
Throw
man.
on a
of the
little
people.
stranglehold.
I was very much
Man of the people.
By the way, I mean the Prairie Flower Casino Club at the Omaha Storm Chasers game was actually pretty impressive. I very much enjoy watching a game from there. I am a
They
man of the
sponsor our
people too,
hotline.
though. You and I mean, I've walked on the concourse with you before. I've been with the people with you. You a
You
man
were
of the
so
people.
uncomfortable.
That is not true at
There were
all.
sweaty
That
Was he?
LSU
not.
fans. There were sweaty LSU fans
That-
around him.
I was
Yeah,
taking.
he was like, can we go Can we go upstairs?
I did
No,
this with you a
this is
couple years ago.
ridiculous.
Felt right at home.
This is ridiculous. I took a picture with one of those sweaty LSU fans. The guy dressed up as the Tiger.
Because I told you to.
That's not at all. I go, I should get a picture with him. And you started laughing, which is just my immediately, like, that's the immediate go ahead.
That
to
guy
do it.
smelled so
He
bad.
was so smelly.
But he became a celebrity. Oh,
hard,
he
man.
he reeked.
Yeah,
He was, I mean, you weren't the one who was touching him. I was touching him.
Oh, I don't touch him.
I
Smelly
had my,
men, I don't touch.
I had my
It's just a
arm-
rule that I was taught as a young age.
There's no
I had-
Candle Bath
I
and
had
Body
my-
Works with
I had
that
my
scent.
arm around him, and then I had to like wipe off the sweat from my arm after it happened. But I was a man of the people.
For one time.
For my whole life, I've been a man of the people. I just like the class of Wimbledon. I like the class of Wimbledon.
See, I'd be afraid
Wimbledon
wearing
is
white about
classy.
the splashback
Same
from
thing
the
with
urinal.
Same thing with the Masters. The Masters is classy. It's elegant.
What do you do when you go to a Creighton game? You don't like sitting in the 200s. You've got to be in the Lexus Club.
I sit in the seats that are given to me, which happen to be the Lexus Club seats.
But
which
the one day you were not, you complained.
I didn't complain.
You were like,
You have to get
"Ooh."
your own concessions?
Okay.
the hell?
So there you go. I
Yes.
very much was like,
Yes.
I will be honest, having my plate at the buffet was quite nice at the Lex.
All right.
It's hard to go to a Cubs game after you've been to the 1914 club because you just are like, man, like that was a different way of
I
living.
had an
It was
old style
awesome.
and a hot dog.
It was awesome.
beautiful.
When you go to the Catalina Club and they just
I
feed
brought my
you
own
beer.
snacks.
Well, I buy the peanuts outside on Clark. You know, I buy them, and I cheaper outside than they are inside. So you buy the $5 bag and you walk in. You know,
Damn, even those
or
are
$3
$3
bag.
So
probably
I'm not
$3,
saying that. Like, I like to be a man of the people. You like to look down on the people.
That's not. See, that's disparaging.
You're like, hey,
That's
someday
not
you guys are
true.
going to be working for me. That's
What?
okay.
First off, not going to happen. Second off, never said that. Thirdly, can a man not
You two
like
fight to
nice
the death.
things? Can I not enjoy a club every now and then?
Man of the people like myself can do both. I think you get
See,
a little,
Garrett-
I think you get a little squirmish around the
That's not
general
true
fan.
at all.
He's got a
But
point. He enjoys his
I'm-
club.
I'm
Mine
here-
goes on the steering
I'm
wheel.
here for the general fan. You know what? When they're showing all the celebrities at Wimbledon, why don't they show Ted, who is visiting from Salt Lake? Why don't they point him out? Hey, the guy sitting next to McConaughey. It's just a regular guy from Salt Lake City that spent all this money to fly over to be Sunday at Wimbledon.
There's
Why don't
Frank from La Crosse, Wisconsin.
they should point out? They should point out just the average person. Like you're doing a broadcast, and you're like, "Hey, there's Roger. The Marlins man is sitting there, but that is Roger, who works at Ernst & Young in downtown Los Angeles."
Yeah, he's a senior general manager. He's been with the same company for
His wife and
27
3
years.
kids.
He worked his way up. He started as an intern. I imagine I could totally see you just at a Wimbledon final,
Gary. It just says
No.
on the super.
and they just
Who the hell's Gary?
I'll be raising the roof.
they just
be immediately escorted out. Well,
They-
let's be honest. They would not allow my kind to sit that close.
I think
I'd be like up
No,
in the
no, no, no.
nosebleeds
I was-
at Wimbledon. It'd be like, hey, when we have to close the roof, you're going to have to move because the stanchion comes and takes out your seat.
I think I could see you on the concourse, like
got a
just in
monitor
the
for you to watch
softball
outside.
dad quarter zip with a visor. You just have a visor on. You're just like eating popcorn, and the camera's
says
just
tennis.
on you, and you're just looking. You're just looking like, oh, hey.
I'd be doing
This
the
is
thing with the
essentially-
popcorn. I'd be playing like I'd have a buddy with me, and they'd have the goalposts up, and I'd be flipping popcorn.
That a
Be throwing the
fathead?
popcorn onto the
but
grass.
this later this week, Phil Steele is going to join us.
Nice.
But also this week, our good friend, little plug here, my friend for a long time, and is like taking the next step in his career. Brett Ciancia will join us this week.
Hell
His
yes.
preview magazine just went live overnight.
Cool.
Number one the last 10 years. This is the 14th year that he has done this. It does not have it doesn't sound like that. Like I just dropped the Phil Steele on the countertop here. It is a bounded book.
Yes.
It is in the digital form. Some of you that are so wonderful to support Brett when he comes on our show every Friday during football season, you already have the copy of the Pick Six previews, but it is one of our favorites. He's one of our favorites, and he will join us later this week. So if you did not know, all the work, and he has gone, there's a little bit more into his preview this year. It is well worth it. And so we'll have Brett on later on this week. And then he will make everyone around here very, very happy because he does this at least once or twice a year. He will tweet out Ndamukong Suh's stats
Yes.
from 2009, and in particular one game, and how he did not win the Heisman. So Suh retired over the weekend. If you've not seen it, just an incredible, like, that's the end of my career announcement.
Yeah.
Again, he is fascinating to me. He can flip the switch off the field, completely different guy. Nice, engaging, big thinker, going to go places. He's very much into the finances. He's always been thinking about my career post-football.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's too much of a high-level thinker for some. But he also is on this list. The top 5 players that you've ever seen in person play in college football.
I feel like he's
That's
the
a
type
good
of
one.
player, especially if you saw him play in 2009. He should be on everybody's list.
He is number 1 on my list of the best, and I have to have seen him in person, not on TV,
Right.
but in person. So I'm fudging here a little bit because I'm going to have 7.
Okay.
Ndamukong Suh is number 1. Number 2.
Geez, look what you got to see. Oh, this should be.
I know. I was about to say.
How are you
your
gonna narrow
list
these
is-
down?
So
I think Clayton Thorson might be 5 for me.
2 is LP.
Yeah.
3 is Sean Taylor from Miami.
Nice.
Ed Reed from Miami.
Yep.
Ironically, in the same game. Number 5, this might surprise people, but whenever he played Nebraska, I thought he was an incredible football player, and he was one of yours with the Cowboys. I think Roy Williams from Oklahoma. Not the Roy Williams wide receiver from
No.
Texas.
The Superman.
The
Chris
defensive
Sims.
back / linebacker for Oklahoma. He is one of the best players I have ever seen in person. And then I got the opportunity to see Clowney at South Carolina.
Yeah. That's a great
And
one.
then I have to include this because the only time the one time that he had one of his best games ever in the Swamp, we had sideline passes. And so watching Tebow in person. So those would be the 7 top guys. I wish I would have seen Reggie Bush in person, but I never had that opportunity to be anywhere where USC was playing.
Sure.
But those, I mean,
So
Suh in person, and you don't have to be a Mizzou fan that still to this day dog cusses Suh because he ruined your quarterback and your program on a rainy night on a Thursday.
Love you, Sue. It's a great night.
Or dad because Suh stepped on your kid while he was going to the end zone on a pick 6. Suh, every single snap, there was something going to happen.
it was to be dominant in football is so hard, but to be dominant at that position, I think, is one of the toughest
And they would double
things to
him.
do.
Didn't matter.
It's insane because I mean there are literally guys in the defensive line who their job is just take up space. Like your job is literally to just move a guy out of the way so the linebacker
Ted
can come
Washington,
and make
guys
it. Yeah,
like that. Will Fork.
yeah, come and make a tackle. Where there are very few guys who can really sit down and think about, man, like impact, sacks, tackles for loss. That, like you say, every time a snap happened, something was going to go down.
You
right?
look for him when you break the huddle. Where is he?
Reggie White,
Yeah.
Ndamukong Suh, Aaron Donald. Those are like the 3 that Warren Sapp.
Lawrence Taylor.
Those are the 3 that immediately come to my head where it's like those guys were just, but I can name 20 quarterbacks. I can name 40 wide receivers.
Yeah.
You can only name maybe like 10 or 12 like true game records at defensive tackle. For me, my list is very different than yours because, and you know this because I've come into college football, I haven't been in college football as much as you have. Number 1 was Denard Robinson for me. Denard Robinson in 2011. I watched him at Notre Dame. It was a Michigan-Notre Dame
I
game.
remember that game.
He was incredible. I would then say another Notre Dame flavor here, but I saw Michael Mayer, my apologies, the tight end, play 3 different times. And it wasn't, I knew that he was the draft pick and I knew he was incredible. So there were times where I was just watching him. My eyes were just locked on him in that offense. And he's such a good blocker. Like it got totally under the radar how great of a blocker he is. Then I think Chris Olave, against when he played Nebraska. And
By the way, Chris Olave was in Omaha the other day.
Really? What was he doing in Omaha?
Keith Williams had his wide receiver camp here this weekend.
Chris Olave was absolutely incredible
Yeah.
to watch. I mean, and he put on a hell of a. I mean, honestly, my list could probably be that entire Ohio State wide receiving core from that game. Then I would say, shoot, this gets tough. I saw Chase Claypool play against Northwestern.
Okay.
He had an incredible game that day. And then Chase Brown. I don't know. When he played Illinois versus Nebraska, I was really, really impressed by him. I don't really have Denard Robinson is really the only true standout Heisman guy that I watched.
So I didn't go to the 2011 game in Ann Arbor, but Michigan played here in 2012, and Denard wasn't very good.
Yeah, damn.
Like
he
I think he might have got hurt because
I think so. I remember it was a
Bellamy
night game.
finished the
Yeah.
game for Michigan. Yeah, Nebraska won that game. That was not
It's
a
cold. I remember that.
that was Michigan was ranked, but it was not like
It was Brady Hoke's Michigan. So
Yeah.
I would say with Denard, it was crazy watching him because
Mhm.
we were in the nosebleeds and we were in the end zone. And so your depth perception there is terrible. But you would just see a guy in blue, just shifting, he's just shifting across
the
the
video
field.
game.
And it's just he's just bouncing from hash to hash and nobody can touch this guy. And he just absolutely burns everybody on Notre Dame. It was I think he's a dude because it just went so weirdly in his NFL career with the whole switching positions and is he a running back or a wide receiver that we don't remember him maybe as fondly as we should. But he was insane. He was so good. My list is so weak. I have such a weak Chase. I have a better player than Chase Brown, but I think the three for me.
I don't think it's bad. You're young.
Olave,
You're going to add some
Mayer.
good guys to that list.
Man, Denard was great.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding though. I saw Clayton Thorson play some really good football games. Ian Book is put on one of the best college football performances that I've ever seen. He was incredible against Northwestern. I think that was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. That day, Northwestern got Hunter Johnson to commit to them as a transfer portal guy. And the whole stadium was buzzing. It was like, oh my God, we gotta. This guy was rated higher than Trevor Lawrence. He sucked. He was terrible. Ben Skoranek.
You know a guy who so I just went back because I was looking at the box score. So Shafe and I went to the LSU Georgia game. So every year I go to an SEC game.
Yeah.
And so Shafe and his father were in Athens. And so we were at the LSU Georgia game in 2013, in which Georgia won 44-41. So Jarvis Landry and OBJ were incredible that day, catching passes. But so was a guy named Chris Conley from Georgia. You know a guy who I probably would put on this list and I was very excited to see, but he got hurt? Todd Gurley.
Oh.
So all of these guys outside of Clowney, because Clowney I watched in the stands in Columbia, all these guys I've watched from field level.
Yeah.
So it changes your perspective.
Sure.
But I imagine top 5 players you've seen in person, if you are a Nebraska fan,
it's got to be.
Sue is in the top 5. And this is Nebraska and opponents that you've seen.
Sue for sure has to be in everybody's top 5.
Alan Tweets was at the Big 12 title game in 2009, watching a Texas fan be beside themselves trying to figure out how Sue is everywhere was amazing. I also watched a Texas fan get knocked out after the game.
Nice.
Hey, 2 for 1.
By the Pellinis or by Sue?
Oh, Mo Ibrahim. That'd be a guy that'd be on my top 5 for sure. Mo Ibrahim that's a dude where talk about getting run to the ground in college so much that you can't have an NFL career. I think Kyle Monungai is kind of the same way too, where it's these Big Ten running backs, they're just so important that they get they literally have so much wear and tear before they're even able to get to the next level. But I feel like a lot of people forget, maybe not that many people forget, but Mo Ibrahim was a dog. He was, PJ Fleck could just get that guy the ball and just have no worries whatsoever, especially during his junior year. He was great. He'd be in my top 5. I'm so embarrassed though because my top 5 is
we
not
have a little bit different experience.
I know, but it's just you have Hall of Famers and some of the greatest players of
Neither
all
one of
time.
us are going to compare to his list. So no, that's a good list you have. Not bad for 23. And you got to see Denard as a kid. Yeah.
You know what I didn't go to the 2021 Michigan game. I watched the game, but I wasn't there. That's a big regret of mine, not being at that
Now,
game.
Aiden Hutchinson was really good.
So that's immediately what I thought. Because I remember how great he played.
By the way, Teddy Prohaska played pretty well against him. People forget about that Saturday night in 21.
Well, didn't they had another guy.
People also have to be reminded that Teddy Prohaska is still at Nebraska.
I know.
Damn.
Didn't they have your guy? Didn't they draft? Didn't Dallas draft the other Ozzy something? Or,
Osborne?
No.
Oh hell, I don't know.
There was
They screwed the draft
another
a lot.
Michigan edge rusher that was really, really good that year.
Quiddy Pay was on that team, wasn't he?
It was was he?
He was the
You
defense.
talking about Taco?
He was the
No,
defensive
not
end.
Taco.
So I'm just hungry.
I'm really mad that I now have to go through this page to find this. Oh my god! By the way, if you go to the 2019 Michigan football reference page and you look at the roster and all the NFL logos that are next to these guys,
They did okay.
So Daxton Hill was their big time safety on that team.
was it?
And then David, I think you're thinking of, went to the Ravens?
Yes,
Ojabu?
Ojabu.
Yeah.
Ojabu in that Ohio State game later that year too was absolutely incredible. David, but then he got hurt, and then the Ravens drafted him really, really late, and then I don't think he's really amounted to too much in the NFL, unfortunately. But I thought he was a freshman that year in 19. That's one of my bigger regrets because that was that 19 team, and then obviously the team that ended up winning it all was incredible too. But
all right, Evan Bland going to stop by. Oh, here you go. Alan adds one. I never saw him in person, but yes. Top 5 opposing players to watch live in Memorial Stadium.
2021.
You could now. This would be a really good discussion because you could make. Man, top 5 would be tough. Adrian Peterson,
Oh God.
Ricky Williams.
Those
Yeah.
two are on mine. LeVar Arrington. Yeah.
LeVar Arrington, I never saw him in person, but
Saw him in '99.
yeah.
Mm.
If somebody I was disappointed in seeing him in person that was fired up as well,
Me?
Major Harris. Now, a lot of it had to do with Nebraska that day in the Meadowlands, but I was like, get to see Major Harris.
And then
Nothing.
So the Huskers look good.
I went to the championship, like this is college basketball, but I went to that Champions Classic they do in the beginning of the season where the Michigan State, number 1 Michigan State was playing number 2 Duke, and Marvin Bagley was on that Duke
great
team.
Sacramento
And
King.
I was so excited to see Marvin Bagley because he was the projected number 1 overall pick in that draft. He poked his eye out like 3 minutes into the game. He got like an eye injury.
He got an Allen Ray.
Yeah, and had to leave. But on that Michigan State team, Miles Bridges, Jaren Jackson Jr.
His dad's an NBA champion.
Now, Marvin Bagley looked pretty good here during the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. But in the NBA, one of the worst Sacramento Kings of all time.
Which is saying
one of the
something.
Best memes ever, though. You ever see that when the Sacramento Kings fan goes, "Oh my God, I'm so glad we got Bagley. I didn't want to draft Luka." All over the internet. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You got to live with that.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry, you got Mahomes, all right? You got Mahomes.
But he doesn't play for the Sacramento Kings?
If he did, he'd be great, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Evan Bland will join us here in a little bit. Lots to discuss. Maybe we'll discuss that the preseason Big 12 poll is out. You guys checked out who is number 16?
Arizona State.
We're back with more of Gary and Matt after this. All right, Evan Bland coming up here in a little bit. Top 5 players you've seen in person. If you had a chance to watch Nebraska during the Sioux era, he's got a Sharpie in that top 5, and then you can fill in the rest. We've gotten from Marcus Dupree to Barry Sanders because this has changed into guys that played against Nebraska. Kevin brings this one up, and this is a different sport in basketball. Kevin Durant. Who,
bad man.
That's a great one.
2007 played at the Devaney Center against Nebraska. 62-61, I think was the final score. But a very, very young looking, because he was just 1 year, very young looking Kevin Durant. I don't think Texas was ranked.
They were better in 08 than 07, but they were okay in 07.
So he had 26 and 15 in that game at the Devaney Center in 07. But the thing that is lost, he did not score in the last 11 minutes and 42 seconds of that game. Now, here's the other thing Nebraska did against Durant, because he came out the beginning of the second half in that game. 13 of the first 15 points scored by Texas were Durant, and Nebraska had no answer for him. But at the end of the game, because then it turned in, it was back and forth. Texas was working with about a 6-point lead. Nebraska got back into the game. I think it was Ryan Anderson hit a key shot. Texas had a chance at the end, but the shot clock expired. It might have been DJ Augustin.
It was DJ Augustin.
Okay.
That's who was on that team.
So the shot clock expired. Nebraska got the ball back.
Okay.
And I think it was White that missed a shot at the end. But at the end of the game, I think there were
Your memory's crazy.
I think there were 3 or 4 possessions at the end of the game in 07.
That's not weird. Look at me.
Where Durant never touched the ball. Because he had 26 points.
He did
with 11 minutes and 42 seconds to go in that game and never scored again.
So
he had 31 and 1 in the first half in Lawrence, and then turned his ankle and only scored 4 after.
You're spot on. So DJ Augustin, which by the way, DJ Augustin, one of the most underrated, I think, NBA players.
Had a good career.
Really good career. Was on some bad Bulls teams and made them watchable. Had one of the best eyebrow fakes ever. Just want to throw that out there. He misses a shot with 8 seconds left, and then Jamel White took a shot to take the lead, and he missed that too. Durant had a defensive rebound at the end of the game, but they called a timeout after that. By the way, spot on too. 26 points, 10 of 18 from the field. And then AJ Abrams had 14 points that game.
We'll be right back after this message from our friends at Phillips 66.
I think my college basketball list is probably more impressive than my
same. But I also did and covered a lot of games.
But here's one that I just remembered. He'd be in my top 5 easy. Eric Decker. In 2009, I went to a Northwestern Minnesota game, and I just remember he tore it up. He was incredible for Minnesota. So there you go. That'd be in my top 5.
I think also
Eric Decker was a beast.
I think Texas had trouble getting into Nebraska in 07.
Like travel issues?
Yeah, there was a major snowstorm or ice storm that Texas... Did they land the day of the game? And then they landed in Omaha and made it to Austin? There's one of those years in there where Texas may have flown day of game.
I'm trying to think, if you just became a Nebraska basketball fan recently, there have been some pretty impressive basketball players that have strolled through Lincoln.
Baby Jordan.
Well,
Harold Miner.
Just don't tell the fans that he scored a record.
Got Steve Johnson, the longtime PA announcer at the Vandy Center, fired that night.
Really?
So Harold Miner was USC Nebraska. It was on the 25th of November. Baby Jordan.
Oh, that's
Harold Miner was going to work.
Yeah.
He set the Devaney Center scoring record, and Steve Johnson mentioned it over the PA.
Oh God!
And Steve, who is the legendary, he'll always be the OG voice of Nebraska volleyball on the PA, but he also did the Devaney Center. I don't know that he ever did Memorial Stadium.
You have to. Or sorry, I thought you said he never did another game for basketball.
I don't think after that season, because here's what happened. So he announced it, and it was a back and forth game. I mean, it was a nice non-conference game.
Yeah.
He announced it over the PA, and in the middle of the game, because Nee was standing near the scores table, Danny lost it. Danny started in the middle of the game. Danny started screaming at Steve Johnson like he was dog cussing him big time. because he mentioned an opposing player breaking the Devaney Center
But you
scoring
have, but you
record.
have
Good
to.
thing you didn't call it the Apple Orchard.
You know, it's historic. It's a scoring record. It happened.
An opponent, though?
It's the other team.
I
Who
know.
cares?
It's tough because
Like Steve was
respect that.
excited.
Was he screaming it?
No, but he
Okay.
mentioned it where you could clearly hear it, and
Maybe-
Danny lost it.
Maybe you mention it after the game. You know, like at the end, at the very end. Hey, Texas defeats Nebraska 62-61. Harold Miner sets a new scoring record here in the Devaney Center with X amount
No,
of.
you don't even mention it there.
That's
I don't think you mentioned it
No, at all.
Opposing
But-
player?
I would have
I
reacted
know
like
what you
Danny
guys-
is a fan.
I know what you guys are saying, but I'm also just very like, I like it when historic things happen, and when historic things happen,
Read about it in the Journal Star
Yeah.
in
yeah,
the morning.
Happens is my
we
team
should, we
effing.
should, honor that. I think it's pretty cool. But
Hey, I learned-
I get Danny. I totally understand Danny. And he flip it
It's his
out.
generation.
Oh my god.
My only
Well, it's not my generation. I'm just an appreciator of
Hey.
things that aren't done.
Hey,
often.
my only time doing the PA at the Devaney Center is it was my only time because I got
Okay.
hollered at.
Uh-oh.
They were playing Mizzou. And so Quinn Snyder's ex-wife was like sitting next to me. I was like, well, because she,
Quinn Snyder, Utah Jazz coach.
yes.
Yeah.
So when he was
Former
head coach
Mizzou
at
great.
Mizzou,
They hired him over
Um,
Bill Self. Look it
so
up.
they moved his wife because Nebraska, because she was sitting right behind the Mizzou bench and Nebraska fans were all over. So all of a sudden she's sitting like 2 seats down from me on the scores table. And I said, they went to the monitor to review something. And so I said it over the PA. Chris Anderson lost it on me. She's like, that's not protocol. You don't say that. And I'm like, but it's a review. I wanted people to know what was going on.
Now it is protocol.
was wrong
Now
with
that?
You were ahead of the
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
I think
I'm pretty sure that Steve Johnson, that he did one more, that was his last year.
that's crazy.
Because in the offseason, because Danny blew a gasket.
So Miles Bridges for sure, one of the best basketball players I've seen. Mello Trimble was incredible in Maryland back in 2016. Mello Trimble and Diamond Stone together
What a name.
were absolutely awesome at Welsh Ryan Arena. And then I'd say Kofi Coburn was pretty like being
Yeah.
down there, like he was pretty impressive. Now, if you went to a game last year, and I wonder if they're on your list, do Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey crack
No.
the top 5 for you? No?
Not when I saw him in person.
Okay. They just weren't impressive enough to like really like pop.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like Mello, I don't even think Trimble got drafted, but he had like 27 points and was just absolutely insane.
Chris says his best. I think Tim Rattay is still chucking to Troy Edwards in 98 in the Louisiana Tech game.
It's hot.
Chris says, I was 10 years old, just baffled how he continually got so open. You know, you would. So,
Harbinger of things to come years later.
well, I mean, that was a crazy game to begin with. But you know what is lost in that record-setting performance?
Of Harold Miner?
You guys know what the final score of that game
No.
was?
No.
The Louisiana Tech game?
Yeah.
Nebraska blew them out.
Yeah. So Troy Edwards
That's what he kept
catches.
throwing.
Tim Rattay throws for 590.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Troy Edwards catches 405 of those 590, 21 of the 46 completions. You would think the game was close. No, it was 56-27.
Mhm.
Nebraska won that game. One final one, then we got to get to
Yeah.
Evan here.
I have one more too for you, Jimmy. I saw 2018. Who was on that team for Kansas? It was Kansas, Kentucky at the UC.
Oh, hell, I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough. Thought you would.
Just
Disappointing.
say random Kentucky player and be like, yeah, that guy was
Yeah.
good.
I don't remember the game
Anthony
at all.
Davis.
Derek
But I
Anderson.
probably
Karl
saw
Anthony
about-
Towns.
Jamal McGlure.
I probably saw about 6 different basketball, like NBA players.
Goose
that game. I
Givens.
don't remember one thing.
Ross
from
says, best to see in person Chase Young in 2019 in Lincoln.
it. Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was at that game. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Ooh, that is a good
that
point.
is a guy.
he was a
at that game
problem.
too? Or 2019. I wasn't at that
Reggie
game.
Bush. And then so he's starting to get more. Marcus Dupree. And then Ross adds, being an Ohio State fan, next year when Jeremiah Smith rolls into Memorial Stadium.
Fair. Hey, he's good. Saw
He
Travis
will
Hunter
be,
last
but
year.
that's the thing. Like you're kind of laughing. We both know that's going to be the case.
Coming up next, Evan Bland will stop by. We'll talk some Major League Baseball draft, how it pertains to Nebraska's roster, and we'll get his thoughts a week from Media Days and 2 weeks from camp. He'll join the program next on 1620 The Zone. All right, a week from today, after he gets done with us next week, he'll be on his way to Las Vegas. Probably going to be out there for a couple of weeks. It is Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald who joins us. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning. Yeah, it's. I think I'll be able to chat with you guys. I think I'm flying out midday out toward Vegas, so we should be good.
Bam.
I wanted live at the blackjack table, is what I kind of wanted. Or do you hit on 16, Evan Bland?
Nope, not usually. I mean, maybe if an ace is showing, but I guess I'm of the mind I want the dealer to do the work on that one. I don't want to.
Yeah, you play your game.
Let's dive into this because we're a week from media days. Greg Sankey is speaking right now, so SEC goes this week, Big Ten next week. Nebraska speaks on Tuesday, and then 2 weeks from today, they start some camp things down in Lincoln to get ready for the upcoming season. One of the guys that'll be back for another year. He's 25 years old, Evan. He's now going into his 7th year. Javen Wright, Buddha, what do you believe to be true if you look at his career where he has had injury issues or things that have kept him off the field, but yet he hasn't said, I'm out of here. He has stuck with it. He led Nebraska in tackles in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
What is the expectation for him as being the old man on this roster this year, but also playing a key position?
Well, I think he's ideally going to be one of the leaders of the team, right? Like you're one of the oldest guys. He is a vocal guy. Like you do any kind of interviews or chat with him, and he's engaging and enthusiastic, and I think a little charismatic, and that's all good stuff to have, especially at a position where you're going to have a transfer in Marquise Watson-Trent. You have some young guys like Vincent Shavers. And so you've got a guy like Wright who's been with the team since 2019. He's still there. He had a great reflection, I thought, in the spring about how he's still a guy who is straddling 2 eras. Like he can tell you what it's like pre-NIL and pre-transfer portal, really, because he was here for that. He went through that process, and there really aren't many of those guys left. Like in terms of on the field stuff, he's been one of their more versatile defenders for a while, someone who can drop into coverage, who can tangle in the box and try to stop the run. We just haven't always seen it because he's been hurt for so much of his career. He's had blood clot issues, and he had moments last year where he was a pretty significant contributor to what Nebraska wanted to do. But I think people forget he didn't really practice all last year because of his health situation. Like he pretty much did mental reps during the week and then played on Saturday, and that was good enough. But I remember him saying in New York, imagine what I can do if I have a full off season and even in season of practice. So it's kind of unusual to think that there'd be a 7th year guy who you don't really know what his ceiling could be. But I think that's kind of the case with Wright, just because, again, he hasn't been on the field that much, and where he fits into the John Butler defense, I think will maybe be a little bit different even than what the vision was with him previously.
Like Gary mentioned when we introduced you, that Greg Sankey is currently talking at SEC Media Day, and he just said college athletics is not broken, it's under stress. Other than a new hobby or a massage, Evan, off the top of your head, what do you think is something that can relieve stress on college athletics?
Well, I mean, I think Troy Danon's had some good thoughts on this, the Nebraska AD. I think that what they need to figure out is their governance issue, because he makes the point that guys like Sankey, commissioners, were not tasked with bringing college football into a new age. They were tasked with protecting the interests of their leagues and the member institutions. And so Sankey does a great job at that. He does a great job at promoting the SEC and touting what it does, and why their conference is staying at 8 league games and things like that. So he's outstanding at what he does in that regard. But to put on him or to put on Tony Petitti or Brett Yormark or whoever, the idea that they need to be the ones leading the enterprise as a whole, it's flawed, right? Because everyone has their own interests, their own biases. So some of that's probably going to eventually have to go back to the college presidents to say, hey, who can we empower for the sport at large, not just for various regional or league interests, to push things forward. So we're going to get a point of view from Greg Sankey on a bunch of stuff today. Tony Petitti is going to share his point of view on things next week. We heard the same at Big 12 Media Days last week. Sometimes these things will align, sometimes they won't. But, I don't think college athletics is broken. I mean, there are all kinds of metrics you can point to in terms of the interest level and TV ratings and what the market is for these players. Like, I think it's going to end up being higher than what maybe a lot of administrators thought it would be, just in terms of like the standard going rate for some players. So the interest is there. The passion is as high as it's ever been. It's just a matter of how do you streamline it? How do you give it rules? How do you make it not? It's never going to be an even playing field, but how can you have people operating from the same vantage points? And so I think that's where it's got to start, is who's going to be in charge, who can you empower to lead the thing, because right now it seems very fractioned still.
Well, I would hope next week that the commissioner of the Big Ten, with all the other issues that are going on that he'll address, he just reminds people that this conference has won back-to-back national championships. With that said, if you look at the candidates to make it 3 in a row, probably the biggest one is in State College. You can never overlook the defending champs. The Big Ten doesn't do, as you know, Evan, they don't do a preseason poll. So it is Doug Lesmerises or somebody else will put it together. I don't know if you've been approached or not, but if you did and have, where would you put Nebraska amongst the 18 teams going into this year?
Yeah, I am voting in that, actually.
All right.
Whoa.
Submitted it a few days ago, and? It's tough. Well, so there's like that big middle class, right? Like you've got, I agree. I put Penn State at the top. I think Oregon, Ohio State, they're both so fascinating because you've got new quarterbacks there. My dark horse CFP team this year is Illinois. I think the schedule and the roster and everything really align pretty well there. I put Nebraska at 10 in my particular, top 18 in the league. And, it's incredibly tough, first of all, because the class is so tight there. I have them more or less interchangeable with, Washington, UCLA, USC. And so you're like evaluating these teams kind of on what they did, kind of on the portal additions that they have. The schedule absolutely plays a factor in it. Who do you get at home and away? Who are you missing in this imbalanced slate that's out there now? So, I have them 10th, but you have like a margin of error, right? Like it feels like the margin of error is like 2 games either way, where they could, move up into the top quartile maybe of the league, or they could finish in the bottom half if things don't break the right way in some ways. So I think that's about right. Have them right in the middle of the league right now. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's quite the exercise to go through and try to figure that out.
Do you think that the measuring stick games this year are the ones against Penn State and the Penn State game, or do you think it's the games against Iowa or Minnesota in terms of figuring out where is this program?
I think it's games. Sam and I had this talk the other day about like upsets and things. Like, to me, I look at it as like, what are the games that Nebraska could win that would most change like the national perception of the program? And so I think Minnesota is a great example because Nebraska hasn't won in Minneapolis in a long time. PJ Fleck has tended to have the edge on Nebraska. So like objectively, if Nebraska were to win that game, that'd be a big deal for the program. They haven't done that, but I don't know that game moves a needle nationally all that much. Like I think people would see that as 2 sort of middle to middle upper class Big Ten teams playing. But like if Nebraska beats Michigan at home in September, yeah, I think that's something that really would validate people's assumptions that Nebraska could take off in year 3. Obviously, if they go to Penn State and win, that would be a big deal, especially probably what the stakes will be at that time. I think beating USC falls into that same category, even though USC is probably pretty similar to Nebraska in a lot of ways. Like if the Huskers win that game, I think that gets people's attention and say, whoa, okay, they've got something cooking in Lincoln. So, I think Iowa is more of the Minnesota type of situation where, Iowa's dominated the series of late, but they've all been close games. I think they're generally perceived as a similar team to Nebraska in a lot of ways. Michigan State, I'd put in that category as well. So that's when I'm looking at opportunities for Nebraska. It's like, what can you do? Who can you beat that would really maybe change people's idea of what you can be that year? So those are some of the ones I look at.
So I like this discussion because I separated into two different things. Wins that would be more important for us locally, and then wins that would be more important for us nationally. I think the Minnesota thing, looking at it locally, people on the outside might go, it's not PJ Fleck is PJ Fleck. But you got to understand, he's owned Nebraska. But there's another game that I think locally would change some people's opinion. It would start to get it going with me. What about the opener against Cincinnati? Because in the last 9 years, Nebraska is 0-5 in season openers against non-group of 5 teams. How much of a win in now about 6 weeks, how much of a win would change the opinion of where this is going locally?
Yeah, I mean, getting off to a great start would be important. They haven't done a ton of that. You think of Illinois a few years ago, and obviously the COVID year, and early in Matt Rhule's tenure. Like, you start slow, and you're kind of working from behind. Yeah. So, to beat Cincinnati on a Thursday night on ESPN and Kansas City, I think that would generate a lot of excitement. If for no other reason than like fans would remember how fun it is, like to go out and just watch your team win when everybody's paying attention, when like they're the only show going on. And I thought the more that I heard from Cincinnati at Big 12 Media Days last week, the more, I'm kind of nodding my head that, like, that'd be a nice win. They've got a good quarterback. I thought they did a ton of good work in the portal. That's a team that's probably better than its 5-7 record from a year ago. They should have at least been a bowl team. And it's going to set the tone for the season. I think all that stuff goes into it. And I agree, like nationally, you look at it and you say, okay, Cincinnati was picked to finish wherever, 11th in the league. So, it's maybe not a marquee win from a national perspective, but I think locally, like just remembering what it's like to start the season on the right foot, to have fun, to beat a power conference opponent. And then you really, like, not only does that buy you some goodwill out of the gate, but it gives you another couple of weeks when you've got Akron and Houston Christian to presumably go 3-0 and to really feel like you're playing for something heading into that Michigan game. So, you lose to Cincinnati, you're really like, that's going to hang over your head for the next 3 weeks until you play Michigan at that point. So yes, I think that's absolutely important. If they can come out strong and maybe not just win, but win convincingly, and some of these things that appear to be strengths for Nebraska actually manifest that way on the field, it'd be a big deal.
Obviously, we know about Nebraska's, the 1-score games and the records and whatnot. And I was watching Joel Klatt on YouTube, and he used, how many 1-score games teams have been in almost as like a positive thing, almost as if it was like an argument to make for a team maybe being better because they played close games last year. Do you think that's an argument you can make? You can spin that to being a positive? Or do you think if you lose a lot of close games, that's just who you are? That's just what you do?
Well, we've seen both sides of it for Nebraska, haven't we? Yeah. And we've seen times when that's just who they are. They chronically come up short in the clutch and lose by a score, and that's just kind of how it's been. Like, I think you can use that argument early in the season, maybe for the first half of the year. If that becomes a pattern, I mean, then you're kind of like, well, we're just, you're a team that isn't able to finish things out. I think it's a huge motivator in the off season because you're not talking about like overhauling things. You're talking about like, hey, in Nebraska's case, if they can have a positive turnover margin, like that could flip multiple games for them. If they can be competent on special teams, that could flip multiple games for them. If they can improve on their third down conversions offensively just a little bit, like that could flip a couple of games for them. So I think that's kind of what you look at when you're talking about a team breaking out is not like, wow, they're overhauling everything and it's going to be way different and all these different players. It's like, can you win a little bit more in the margins? Can you be just a little bit more efficient in this area? And and like some of the areas I just pointed out, like if you can be a little better in each of them, then that could equate into something more significant where you are finishing some of these games out. And I think the schedule this year is something that's going to play into their favor as well. I think by a lot of metrics, it's among, if not the easiest in the league. So, that we've had years before where I think we've said, hey, Nebraska could be better, but the schedule's so tough, it's not going to reflect that.
Yeah.
I think kind of the inverse is true a little bit this year, where you can say Nebraska's probably going to be a little bit better, but the record might be a lot better because of how the schedule does line up. So I think all that kind of plays into it. And yeah, it's a reason that they're probably one of the more popular breakout picks in college football right now.
Hey, we'll get you out on this. Day 2, the last day of the Major League Baseball draft, rounds 4 through 20, starts at 10:30. We'll see if there's some Nebraska guys that come off the board, either on the current roster or are headed here. Your gut says what? And you did a really good story on Mason McConaughey. Does Mason McConaughey get paid to be a pro or get paid to be a rehabbing Husker that could take the bump at Haymarket in March? What do you think happens with Mason McConaughey?
I mean, it's such a coin flip because it comes down to whether one team believes that he can come all the way back and be what he was a year ago. Like, I think if he had stayed healthy and performed to the level that he did last year, he would have been a draft pick and a pro almost certainly. But because he is undergoing Tommy John, like, it's so hard to say because, like, I think even 10 years ago, a guy coming off of Tommy John might have scared away some teams. I think now teams look at it almost like a chance to buy low and to get a guy at a discount when they see the potential that he has. So he'll put a number out there and teams will either match it or they won't. I guess if I had to guess, it would be that he would stay with Nebraska. I think he feels good about what the team can be next year. It's a good place to rehab. They have all the facilities and things that you need to work back up. And I kind of get the sense that even if he comes back to pitch in whenever, March of next season, like, he can come back and actually boost his draft stock by performing to the level he did a couple years ago. And he still has, I think the key piece there is he also has draft leverage because he just had a medical redshirt year. So he could go through the draft process next year and still have the option to return to college then. So oftentimes these guys who are juniors, maybe they err on the side of going pro just because you do have that power in the financial negotiations. And I think because he has that option to do this again next year with that same advantage, I'd lean just a little bit toward him coming back and being a Husker.
Ooh, that'll be very, very interesting. Evan, as always, we appreciate it. Have a good week, my friend.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
That's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. That'd be nice.
That'd be very nice.
Be ready to pitch in March. That'd be a nice shot in the arm for Nebraska. Where would you rather do? Would you rather rehab with a pro team where you're under their control, or rehab in college where there's no guarantee that you'll come back and help your draft stock from March, April, May?
It's a risk. I think it's risky to go back to college, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, with the draft stock and you're a year older and maybe you don't have as much leverage. At the same time, you're comfortable where you're comfortable. If Mason McConaughey is more comfortable rehabbing in Nebraska, he's got to take that into consideration, in my opinion.
All right, last hour upcoming next on 1620 The Zone. All right, Greg Sankey is done talking. It's tough to sift through all of this. He said a lot of things. College athletics or college football not broken, but it's strained. Took a shot at Yormark about a gambling reference. And talked about maybe 12. See what it's like for straight seeding 1 year.
He definitely, the answer of could be 12, could be 14, could be 16. You could put a number out there. Could be anything. Was definitely I'm so sick and tired of talking about this and dealing with this. Because at this point with the college football playoff and how many teams are going to be and how you're going to do the seeding, like, it's so important. It's one of the most important decisions that we'll make in the sport. But we have been talking about it so much now where I just think that everybody is like tired of the problem. It's almost like that IKEA furniture that like you buy and you put together and it keeps like cracking and you just like, you have to fix it eventually, but you keep getting annoyed that you have to go back and you have to talk about it all the time and fix it and deal with it. I feel like that's what the college football playoff is right now. Just everybody's sick of it. Just do 16 and do straight seeding.
I would like to see one year what this is like with 12 with straight seeding.
It'll be the SEC Big Ten Invitational with Notre Dame.
That's what's going to be anyway.
Let's just see it play out, and let's give it a chance. You have a chance, by the way, if you go to our website, 1620 The Zone. Coming up in August, the AVCA First Serve Showcase. We are giving away a staycation, tickets, hotel, cash down in Lincoln to see Nebraska volleyball, Creighton volleyball as well. Got to go to our website, 1620thezone.com, to enter for the AVCA First Serve Showcase Staycation. Tickets, hotel, cash, volleyball at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Did you, either one of you guys or anybody else, violate the Summer League overreaction rule this weekend? Watching NBA Summer League from Vegas?
I've been around that stuff long enough to know better.
You did? What did it involve? A block at the end of the Charlotte Hornets game?
No.
By Ryan Kalkbrenner?
No, not that. I saw Hunter Salas dunk the ball. And I go, man, he's got the athleticism to be a really good NBA player. I mean, that's one. That was ding number one.
Okay.
And then yesterday I watched the Detroit Pistons. Mm-hmm. And when 38 got out to the court, I kept my eyes on him the entire time. Look, we don't need to do a segment where Matt breaks down how did Bryce Williams look in Summer League, right?
No, I'm here for it.
I had thoughts in my mind that I'm like, all right, like you're not a scout. But like I was developing thoughts of Bryce Williams' NBA future and whatnot, watching the game. And then I was like, I'm taking this a little too far.
So two dings, violating the rule of overreaction.
He made some good passes, though.
He looks very odd in a Pistons uniform. He had 10 points in 14 minutes, but he just looks really, really awkward in a Piston uniform.
Didn't he? He looks a little bigger, like a little longer. Like he looks taller for whatever reason. Like I don't know. I just kind of noticed he looked a little lankier than usual. Now, Bryce Williams did not get slower. I'm not saying that Bryce Williams got slower, but when you put him against all the fastest guys in college basketball and like returning NBA players, you definitely see that, okay, the speed has increased, and I don't think he's increased his speed with that, which is incredibly difficult to do. I think he should go to Europe. I think he'll be great in Europe, and he'll have a really he can play in some of the top league, not just like, oh, I'm just going to Europe. Like I'm talking top leagues in Europe. And I really think that if he went there and he was given kind of the reins and given the ball, that he could potentially develop into a 3-level scorer that could play off the bench in the NBA. But I think he would need to go to Europe first to get that development, to get that ball, to like learn how to do that in
pro ball. That's a tough path, because if you stay in the G League, you are around NBA guys and they can keep an eye on you. You go to Europe, and if you're not in a great league with a great situation that an agent sets you up, you could get screwed.
And that's the thing too.
I know the guys balance that.
And like, it's almost one of those things. It's like once you go overseas, it's a lot harder coming back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And especially as an American.
Yeah. You put yourself in a tough situation. And also too, man, like it's just every year there's a whole nother crop of college basketball players and European players and just so many people who are trying to play in that exclusive fraternity, which is the NBA, where it's just like, it's tough. So I'm not trying to overreact watching Bryce Williams play Summer League basketball, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for him.
The one that is not an overreaction. So Baylor Shireman's playing for Boston. Sometimes you get drafted by the right team, and whether it be Shireman or Kalkbrenner, who I said from the jump, he'll have a lengthy NBA career. But Shireman hit a logo 3 yesterday. Looked really comfortable. I mean, because of Boston's situation, he's going to have minutes. What is he? 13, 8, and 8 guy yesterday for Boston. So that would not be an overreaction. But once Kalkbrenner had the block to seal the game the other night, I was like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it, people. Do not do it. This is Summer League. Only react to Cooper Flagg dropping 31 and then pulling the ripcord, and he's out for the rest of Summer League. Don't do it.
Shireman's going to – this is a very important year in his career, especially with Tatum being out. I mean, he is going to potentially have the opportunity to play more and play a lot and develop.
Oh, I think he will.
Become,
I mean, he considering the roster he was on last year.
Oh yeah,
I think his minutes were, I think, acceptable for a rookie on that team and the position he plays with the guys that were ahead of him.
Look, obviously, if you're the Boston Celtics, you want Jason Tatum to not tear his Achilles. You want Jason Tatum to play next year, right? You want him to be as healthy as possible. But there is an interesting way of looking at it where, his absence could potentially allow Boston to,
definitely.
Have more of these guys develop and play more and get better. And then when Tatum comes back, you kind of built what won you a title, right? Which is having that incredible amount of depth. I don't know. They talked about in The Last Dance, but when Michael Jordan left the Bulls for the first time, after the 93 season, a lot of those guys were like, look, we may not win in 96, 97, or 98 because Michael leaving made us better players. We were allowed to develop into our games and become better. And I think if you want to be a Celtics fan and you want to spin zone it, that could be a positive over a very negative situation that Baylor Shireman could benefit from greatly.
Joey writes in about Bryce Williams. I thought he looked good in limited minutes. He looked better and made better decisions than guys they drafted. Too many wings were making terrible decisions with the ball, offense and defensively. Watch him off the ball defending. Maybe I'm biased, but he looked better than a few of the guys drafted. The numbers don't show it, but I know what my eyes saw. It's so disjointed because you are playing with guys you haven't played with.
Yes.
And I don't know how many sets you're running. And also there's guys like, you know what? I'm in the Summer League to get a spot on the roster or a spot on the training camp roster, so I'm going to get mine instead of feeding you. So it can be disjointed, but I agree. He looked comfortable. I just can't get over seeing him in a Pistons uniform. That looks awkward to me.
I can't get over 38. 38 is just such a weird number. But then that entire Pistons roster had 35 and 32 and a bunch of 30 numbers. He looks smart. He made some really good basketball decisions yesterday. And
Didn't he look like the guy that we saw play at Nebraska?
Not from he didn't score at the same rate.
But I'm talking the IQ.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and he had one pass where he was pushing the floor and he kind of got pressed up where the defender was trying to steal the ball from him and kind of challenging his handles, and he kind of just picked the ball up and one-handed pushed it, across to the key, and then they hit a three. I just think he's got a lot of really good basketball qualities that I think he can be a really good pro, whether it be overseas, whether it be in the G League. It's just, with how he plays and being a 3-level scorer, he's unfortunately just not that type of, can't miss athlete in the NBA where you're willing to let him go through the bumps. Yeah. But I think with Bryce though, it's I understand when you're looking from a scouting perspective, right, that you want the 19-year-olds, you want the 21-year-olds, and you worry about drafting guys who are older. But if you look at a guy like Bryce Williams, you've seen that he can develop, that he can become a better player, that he can go from being in Charlotte to then being at Nebraska, having a fine season, to then being all first-team Big Ten, that he can take those steps. Some of these guys, I feel like that should be a positive. That should be an encouragement. Hey, we've actually seen that Bryce Williams is a guy who can improve, who can get better. Some of these 19-year-olds, some of these super raw prospects that they pick, they haven't really proven that they can.
Yeah, but you follow the NBA. They draft on upside.
And I'm not. And
on
by the
potential.
Way, I'm not telling anybody what to do or who to draft, and that 23-year-old should be taking 19-year-olds. That's not my point. My point that is, though, I don't think necessarily being 22 should be looked at as big of a death mark as it is in the NBA. I think that's a little, especially if a guy who started in a non-Power 5 school and then worked his way up and showed, like Bryce Williams showed that he could become a better basketball player with time and with development.
All right, when we come back, stop apologizing. There's no need to apologize anymore. If you believe in something, do not apologize. Because if you say something around here, you immediately have to apologize. No more apologies. Apologies end today.
I think that's my favorite rule we've made on this.
I think this could be a great segment because this is right up my alley.
This is the type of segment that is made for the three personalities behind the microphone.
DGAF.
All right, well, I'll explain why I feel that way coming up next on 1620 The Zone. How about Matt Holliday? Matt Holliday is 45 years old, and he's had 2 kids that have been drafted 1st and 4th overall in the Major League Baseball draft. Not bad.
He could definitely like
They're
have a
born early.
training program, even if it's just like BS. You can just like make something up and be like, hey, this is the Matt Holliday training program.
With Tom
For your-
Amansky?
For your like young kids. And a lot of parents would buy that thing and be like, this guy's the father of 2 different, top picks in the MLB draft. We have to buy. Have you read Matt Holliday's book about how to create a great athlete?
This generation's Fred McGriff.
That definitely would sell. That definitely would sell. Especially in the AAU,
You get a
like
snake
travel
oil
baseball,
salesman
like, there would
behind
be
it.
enough. There would be enough people who would buy like a Matt Holliday How to Train Your Dragon book.
I like Toothless. I always want one.
I know.
I think, and his wife Leslie might disagree, but I don't know that it necessarily is training, other than just having sex with mom and producing 2 incredible baseball kids.
No,
There's the Cliff Notes
that's what
version
I
of what
said.
it is.
I mean, I'm just cutting right to the chase.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you
did
got-
they?
You got a
You're
little
like-
DNA.
You're like Amon Ra and Equinemius' dad. You see that?
I mean,
That was crazy.
he's got to
Can only cut it once.
That was a pretty good Major League Baseball player.
Mhm.
They got a little DNA in the 2 kids that have been drafted 1st and 4th overall. Matt Holliday's only 45.
I know.
Remember I
That's
was
not much
blown away
older
the-
than me.
Well, then the other day I was like, Andrew McCutchen is 38.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought of you because we were talking about him.
Andrew McCutchen, the last remaining active player, not a twin, that hit a home run in the Metrodome.
That is
That's
such
a hell of a stat.
niche.
Hit it off a guy that would become his future teammate in Pittsburgh, Frankie, Francisco Liriano.
Where in the Minnesota Twins program did you find that?
Me
I mean,
neither.
how,
Because they were playing the Pirates this weekend, and McCutchen was back in the Twin Cities probably for the last
that's
time.
incredible.
Mhm.
That's one hell of a stat. Andrew McCutchen.
Rest in
is-
peace, Metrodome.
I've been very lucky enough to see a lot of very good baseball players play baseball with my own eyes. Andrew McCutchen is definitely top 5 for me because I saw him play during his MVP year. And
God, he was good.
I like
I
that.
saw
list.
him play in Milwaukee against the Brewers,
Mm-hmm.
and he hit a ball that like looked like he kind of got sawed off a little bit on it, and it was a homer. Like he just lifted it over like right field, like it looked like a regular fly ball. The thing just kept moving and moving and moving. It was crazy how much pop he had back in his when he was winning MVPs or a MVP.
Wasn't that long?
I
Like
went
10
into
years ago.
business over the weekend, boys.
Okay.
So this is I'm not joking here. Me and a few other guys are going into an app business surrounding Major League Baseball games.
Okay.
Okay.
We are creating an app. Now we need Major League Baseball to get behind this. An app for singles that want to go to baseball games and they can date and they can meet at a baseball
Ah,
game.
Hell yes.
Yes.
Right up your alley. Let's
Yes.
go. I'm
Yes.
behind.
That is incredible. Now, who pays for the tickets?
Worry
Is it
about that.
is it
It's
is it
a date.
split? It's
You-
a split ski or
It's a
do-
date.
You
Okay.
discuss it before.
Okay.
Every arrangement's different. This is a great
Now,
idea.
This is an incredible idea.
I got $10.
So the copyright, all the things, the app and
Yeah.
the building of it and what it's going to be are in progress.
Now, the only thing that I worry about, and this is not an app problem,
Uh-huh.
this is more of a social problem. Like if I'm going, let's say my buddies and I were going to a baseball game. Hey, we're going to this game.
Mhm.
I am
It's like
worried
going on a bear hunt.
that I am going to have that one, friend who doesn't care that it's about the boys and he's just all about what's going. He thinks with his pants that he's going to then whip that app out, and then all of a sudden we're
Whoa.
going to have like
You scared me for a
he's
second.
gonna- he's
no,
gonna- he's
it's
gonna
not.
whip
An,
the
it's
app
not.
out.
It's not an app when you're at the game.
Okay.
It's not like
It
Tinder.
gets you to the
Tinder
game.
in the stadium. It is
Which, by the way, wouldn't be
before.
that bad. So before.
before
Now, do
you have like-minded
This is great.
interests. There are a lot more female baseball fans than I think
Yeah.
people realize
This
that
is great.
like going
I'm
to
married to
baseball
one.
games, and it's not necessarily for the social. They like baseball, and so they're single. They would like to maybe meet somebody that also is a baseball fan. Go to a game together. So we are
This
going to
is
have
great.
this app.
This is
This is
one
how
of
you
the
meet a winner.
greatest ideas I've ever heard. Because I would download this app immediately and I would use it and I would abuse it. It would be bad. It would be
Your friends would do it too.
It would if
Major
you had,
League Baseball and minor league baseball.
if you had like you could buy like premium subscriptions to like
Mhm.
these dating apps.
Like
That would be
OnlyFans?
one that I literally would. No, not OnlyFans.
Oh,
But I would buy a premium to that. Now, are you going to like have assigned teams you do this for? Or is it like, hey, there's a stadium in my area?
Yeah, where you're located. So Major League Baseball and minor league baseball.
In all seriousness, Gary, this is a great idea.
This is an incredible idea.
And it's something different, thinking outside the box.
I'll keep you guys updated. It's a long process, but we need Major League Baseball to get behind it.
I don't know if
I would support my human daughter having
this
this.
for you, and I hope for you and your group that MLB gets behind this, because I think it would be incredible. But I don't know if
Manfred's
I don't know.
forward
Are we still buttoned up in baseball where we're still thinking like, oh, we don't want the games to necessarily be a vessel for people to
We're
get
doing a
together.
game in a couple of weeks at Bristol Motor Speedway. I think we've
gone past.
Yeah.
Also, it's like-minded individuals going on a date to a baseball game. Way better than a movie. Way better than some
no
lame
one
dinner.
thought about this?
I'm sure
Before-
people have, but we're going to be the first. I saw pictures of so they're close to being done with constructing the field. Bristol Motor Speedway is gigantic.
It's big.
Because the field is in the infield. Like it is in the middle of the infield, and the track looks enormous. But that's coming up in August.
Now I'm thinking about this because like I feel like I would use this app too much to the point where it's like if I go to a game, there would be someone else in the bleachers being like, Didn't I go on a date with you like 2 weeks ago? Now you're on another date with somebody else.
All right. On a different note, back to football. We need to stop apologizing.
I kind of know where you're going here.
Okay, so
Kinda know
as
where
we
you're
get
going.
closer to the season, everybody's going to make their predictions. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stephen M. Sipple has gone out there and he has predicted 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
But then as Sipple was giving his reasoning, which is all valid, it's almost like there was a hint of apologizing because you think that Nebraska is going to win 9. And I know what it becomes is, all right, I guess I'm drinking the Roulade. We need to stop apologizing with season predictions because you're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. And you have to have some passion and some belief behind it. If you have facts to back it up and you think because of my facts that I have accumulated, this is why Nebraska will win 9, then stop apologizing and stand by it. And I'm not saying that Sipple is Mr. Apology guy.
Sure.
But be careful here.
But this is what when you say 9, and trust me, I think there's going to be a lot more people in the media start to say 9. You don't need to apologize. Just say, this is why I think Nebraska is going to win 9. They're better on the headsets. They're better with the helmets. And I'm not afraid to say, because this is going to be different, the schedule is very, very conducive because it is, Phil Steele tells you it's the easiest schedule in the Big Ten, right? Of the 18 teams.
Yeah.
And Nebraska essentially is going to play one true where everybody is against you road game this season. And that will be at the end of the year when they have their identity established, when they go to State College to play on Penn State. When they go to Maryland.
No, not tough.
Minnesota. Now there will be some Gopher fans there, a little bit riled up, but there'll be a lot of Nebraska fans, right? Then when they go to the Rose Bowl, it'll be Californians for Nebraska.
Oh, we all red.
Ton.
Just like 2012.
No, it's going to be incredible. Now, I honestly think that.
So stop apologizing.
If
you believe Nebraska in 2025 will win 9, lay out your case, stand by it, and don't say, I guess I'm drinking the Roulade. Just say, you know what? I know ball. I looked at ball. I looked at the schedule. I say 9. Who's with me?
I think you can make a more proactive argument for 9 as opposed to like 7.
Are you saying that's your prediction, or you're just kind of?
But I think what are
devil's
what are
advocate?
a lot of
Not you, no, I meant Gary.
Okay, so when I argue
No, I
against
gotta
somebody
say-
about who's someone who says that they're 10, my arguments aren't like necessarily, oh, they're weak here and they're weak here and they're not good here and they're not good there, because this is a talented team. My arguments stem from, well, they're 2-15 in the last 17 games against Iowa and Minnesota, and
Yeah, I saw that. Was that Josh?
That's
stat?
Josh.
Yeah.
Josh had a great stat that they've lost consistently to Iowa and Minnesota, and they haven't been proven. They haven't been able to prove that they can beat those teams. And then my next argument
that is very fair.
And
wants them to prove to him.
Then my next argument is, well, they're like you said, you had a great stat today. 0-5 in the last 9 years against power teams in the first week of the season. They've already lost a game like this with Matt Rule as the head coach. Like a lot of the arguments against Nebraska,
Northwestern, Illinois, Minnesota, Ohio State.
A lot of the arguments against Nebraska not winning games isn't necessarily about, they're weak here, they're weak there. It's just basically a lot about they have to do a lot of the things that they haven't been able to do before. And I'm not going to predict that until I see it. I need to believe it to see it. But if you want to make actual arguments, I think you can make a very convincing proactive argument for 9.
Closer to 8-4 or 10-2. Could you talk yourself into closer to 8-4 or 10-2?
8-4. I'm not talking myself into 10-2. I'm not. There's no, because my argument for 10-2 becomes there's no superstar on this team. There's no All-American returning Big Ten, future first-round draft picks or anything like that. Like, not right now. So no, you will not get me on 10-2. I can see 9-3 being like, hey, what if Nebraska got lucky this year and they just won a game they really weren't supposed to?
I mean, they're due.
And
that would be the sign. So this whole year is. So let me tell you how I'm looking. I'm looking at a 2-year thing here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that have to this year in my world have to convince me that Nebraska is different. Winning against Cincinnati, I'm all in on that game.
You are.
Because old Nebraska loses that game. If you're telling me you're new Nebraska wins that game.
Yeah.
They also win games or a game that you're not supposed to win, but you also take care of business against teams that Vegas says you are winning and win at home. So there are a couple of things, because you brought up off the air Illinois earlier, and Illinois had a good weekend. They've had a good recruiting run.
Yeah.
They're coming off their season they had last year. People need to stop talking about them because they're becoming very trendy and everybody is jumping on them. And now people are like, I don't know, because too many people like them. It happens. They are not the new Indiana.
No.
Because last year, Indiana was 200-1 to make the playoff, and their win total was 5.5.
Yeah.
So Illinois is different, but don't be scared off by everybody's talking about Illinois. Go ahead. If you like Illinois, jump on the bandwagon, because you know what? In my 2-year window, next year's discussion about who is the next Illinois, the discussion that is going on from the offseason to kickoff about Brett Bielema is going to be Nebraska in 2026.
This team's a year away. I think that's kind of where they're positioned. Like if you
that's why Illinois is not a year away,
but
Illinois has nearly their entire starting lineup returning. They've got the quarterback. They're coming off a 9-win plus the bowl game win. Now people are like, here we go, playoff. They also have had recruiting momentum. Nebraska will be the Illinois of 2026.
I think that's an incredibly fair prediction. And I think, and I've said this a couple of times, like this season in a way is more rooted it's more rooted in win 8 games or 8 or above games to prove, okay, hey, we're heading in the right direction, and then be able to convince everybody, hey, don't transfer, come back. We've built a winning program here. We're going to have a great opportunity to go to the college football playoff next year if we continue this trajectory.
Then you go with your 10-win prediction.
This is what this year is about. Now, for me, though, and you mentioned the Michigan game and you mentioned the Penn State game, and I've had these conversations where, what if Nebraska upsets somebody? What if Nebraska wins one of the helmet games? What if they win a game that they're not supposed to?
How about they get a signature win in year 3?
But my thing about the signature win and winning the games that you're not supposed to, great. If you beat Michigan, awesome. But if you go ahead and you lose to Maryland, or you lose to Northwestern, or you lose to Michigan State, to me, it's a negated. I'm not thinking, oh my God. Like if you beat Penn State, cool, awesome. What an incredible moment. But if you end up going 6-6, or 7-5, it wasn't really about beating Penn State. It was about winning the games that you're supposed to win. I would much.
Wouldn't it be some if that did come to fruition and that kept Penn State out of the playoff because they lost a next to last weekend game at home to Nebraska, who was 5. Well, Nebraska has a game after that,
Yeah.
so Nebraska would come in as a 5-5 team.
Be wild. What almost happened to Ohio State? I mean, if Nebraska wins that game at the Shoe, Ohio State does not win the national championship. Like they don't make the playoff.
Ryan Day may not have made it to Michigan long after Michigan.
Seriously.
Oh, Ryan Day would have been skewered for that because they paid no attention to Nebraska.
No.
Okay, they had no intention of getting up for Nebraska that game.
I think with this team, it's just like it's great if you beat Michigan. It's great if you get a signature win. I am focused solely on, do you beat UCLA? Do you beat Maryland? Do you beat the games that you are favored to win? Because that's what gets you to 8. That's what gets you to that number, to your point, where you convince everybody, hey, we can beat the Illinois of 2026.
All right, take a break, come back, put a wrap on the show, and wonder if a moment from the movie Grease is back on 1620 The Zone. So Ndamukong Suh eligible for Canton in 2030?
It's I don't know if first ballot.
I'll say 2035. By then, Suh will have a gold jacket. Because Aaron Donald he's the next. So Aaron Donald is a no-brainer.
Easy.
2029. But it's hard to overlook 3 all-pro selections.
I think Suh gets in 3 years. I don't think it takes that long. But I do think that there will have to be some people advocating for him, which is really important in the Hall of Fame. I mean, if you have the right people at the table for you, you are going to have a better shot, or as good of a shot, or whatever. But I think Jared Allen, like I think him making it as a DN, like I think that helped Ndamukong a lot. Because I don't look at there are tiers. Like Dion joked about it. There are tiers of Hall of Famers, right? Like some guys' jackets are a little bit more golden than others.
Like Aaron Donald's would be a little bit more golden than Suh's.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Donald, you could make an argument, is one of, or the second best defensive tackle of all time. I mean, I personally put Reggie White there, but after that, I think you can make a great argument for Aaron and what he did.
191 games started in the NFL, Super Bowl, and $400,000 in fines.
And a lot of money, too. I mean, Ndamukong made a lot of cash.
Smart financial man. And just think if Nike Town would have gone over in Lincoln.
Well, Nike Town?
Mm-hmm.
What's Nike Town?
Yeah.
So, where the Nebraska bookstore used to be.
Okay.
Suh, with his business model, and he's playing, wanted to open up Nike Town, and they would essentially turn the old Nebraska bookstore that was right downtown into a giant Nike Nebraska apparel place.
I think that's a great idea.
And, well, the athletic department did not think that way because of their relationship with Adidas.
Oh, sure.
And
well,
so
the Adidas contract was already
So as
signed,
it fell apart, Suh said, screw you, Nebraska, I'm out. And there was a long stretch where there was no communication between Suh and his alma mater.
Really?
And then the way that the thing with Bo went down, he was not happy with that. Mm-hmm. So it was nice when the guy that was before Mike Riley as the head coach, they started to bring Suh back in. And, of course, this is how powerful Suh is. If you were you at the game the Akron game?
No.
So the rain hits, they pause the game, and Suh walks across the field. He's walking to join the current team in their locker room. So he walks from the south to the north, but he walks on the field. And the place was like, oh my God, there's Suh. And it was like, thank you, he's back. Because I think Nebraska missed the window to recruit to Suh to say, here's the next one. I mean, he's got the weight room is his. I mean, they got like a giant Ndamukong Suh in there. But they went through a stretch when the Nike Town thing fell apart, where there were some, because they were down the road a bit, and then all of a sudden it got the block, and he wasn't happy, and so he just kind of stopped caring about his alma mater and moved on, and they brought him back, and I think he's more active than last year. And I've never seen the man smile more than when he was back for the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame induction. He was so touched by that. I was like, Suh is back.
I think, and I don't
now go have a kid.
I can't really get a 2052.
We got an app for you.
I don't know if I can't fully speak to it. And I think this is a good question for you and a good question for people who've been around the program during that time that you kind of recanted. But do you think Nebraska has maybe missed the mark in promoting him and elevating him and making him more than just he should have won the Heisman and just this great player? Do you think that they could have gone maybe more steps in terms of being like, this is like, he is a legend, like the Ndamukong Suh, college football legend, play for Nebraska? Like, you think
they've tried? They tried. The Nike Town thing was a big deal, and he wanted no part of Nebraska. And then he would bounce in. He would come back for Buffett's weekend. He did an event, I don't know, 7-8 years ago at the College World Series, but it was very regular. It wasn't regular that he would come back to Nebraska. Yeah. And of course, he was busy during the fall. He was playing. I don't know. I think they missed the window to recruit with him. But you got to remember, it's almost like it was like, boom, it was quick. 08, 09, bam. And you were like, oh my gosh. And then he was gone.
Yeah. And then he went to Detroit and was an All-Pro and dominated in his first season.
There's also, I think there's probably, don't you think some of the stuff that went on
at Detroit?
As a dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska wasn't
but that's your guy. I know what you're saying. I agree.
I know. And they weren't going to take down his name. But
that's
the
vibe
on Suh. That's why I say I think people are more Suh fans around here than in the NFL.
But to me, if I was running the Nebraska athletic department at that time, I would have been like, you know what? We're going to double down and we're going to try and amplify the great guy that Ndamukong Suh is off the field. We'll put some effort into being like, no, Ndamukong is, it's just when he flips a switch, when he gets on the field, he's a different guy, right? Like people, when you say that, that's like one of those cliche phrases, right? Oh, when he gets on the field, he flips the switch or he just turns into something different. It's an
Verse was talking about one of his teammates like that. I can't remember who it was, but it was a great story.
It's an incredible, I don't want to call it excuse, but it's an incredible reasoning to be like, that's why he's, so mean, but he's not like that on the field. I get the whole separating after what he did at Detroit, but that's your dude. That's the guy. And that's another thing too. What pisses me off about him not winning the Heisman Trophy isn't necessarily that Nebraska doesn't have another Heisman in the trophy case or, he didn't get to hold it up or anything like that. What pisses me off so much about it is that that's one of his claims, not to fame, but that's one of the big things about Ndamukong that we talk about. We talk a lot about how great he was in 09, but what's the headline? He got robbed of the Heisman. He should have won the Heisman. That's what irks me. That it's more
a couple
of
other nice trophies.
Oh yeah, I know he cleaned up pretty well, but I don't like that it's, he's the guy who should have won the Heisman in 09. He should just be the Heisman Trophy winner.
I wonder if Bo was invited back for his induction in the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. Because Suh might be the greatest soccer player that's ever played football at Nebraska. And it is Bo Pelini's, one of his, if not his best accomplishment at Nebraska.
Oh, sure.
Is Suh was ready to go. Suh was out the door when Pelini got here. And the fact that Bo Pelini mentioned the name Glenn Dorsey in convincing Suh that I just coached a guy at LSU that became a star, I see the same thing. That guy's in the NFL. That's where you want to go. I can make you into that. By far, that's Pelini's greatest accomplishment is the development of Suh, because before he got here, he was you could see it, but he was still kind of raw because he hadn't played a lot of football,
Sure.
And Bo, what he was able to do in 2 years, I wonder if they invited Bo back.
You almost think he was a transfer in 08 because it was a completely different person. You're like, no, he was there before.
Well, I mean, Bo told the story. He went to great lengths to sell Suh on the benefits of staying at Nebraska. I mean, he broke it down of how in his defensive scheme he was going to highlight him. Defensive lineman, you're going to cover 2 gaps instead of 1. It won't be as much double teaming. Now, everybody was like, we're not dumb. We got a double team 93.
Yeah.
But by showcasing to Suh and gosh, the audio was out there somewhere of Bo going through the steps to keep Suh. Is he sat down with him personally one-on-one and he said, hey, this is the scheme that you're going to thrive in and it will showcase your talent, and away we go. And look what it did.
Well,
I wonder if they invited him back, because
I hope they did. I hope they did.
I mean,
because
I know Bo would decline.
Yes, but I hope they did. I'm not necessarily advocating for let water go under the bridge or bygones be bygones or anything like that. But I hope they did because of what you just explained, right? When you have as big of an impact on a guy that did so many great things.
Like I said, you changed his life.
And he, in a way, Suh changed Pelini's life, being so good and helping him win games and, being a part of those teams. So it's like, man, Pelini's a guy that you look at Suh and it's like, that's an accomplishment of mine. That's a guy that I helped get to that point. And I hope that they invited him and gave him the offer to see him accomplish something so great. There's a whole other, but that's Suh. That's like Suh and Pelini. That's not Pelini and Nebraska football. That's a whole other story.
There is also the famous story from Bo about Nick Florence, who was the quarterback at Baylor, got sacked by Sue, and then there was a flag, and Bo, in Bo fashion,
politely disagreed.
And he had a conversation after the flag came out with the referee. And then people asked Bo,
"Sir, maybe
hey,
we have some speaks."
Because it looked like just a regular legal sack of a quarterback. And people were like, Bo, what was the flag for? And the ref told Bo that it was legal. It was nothing dirty, but he tackled him too hard. True story.
Didn't that happen in that happened in a movie? Like that's something that
this happened in a
That's
Nebraska
crazy.
Baylor game.
I remember that it was on Versus. What's Versus? I know.
Oh, Versus was a great network. At least it was a nostalgia network. I don't know if it was great or not, but I remember loving it so much. I look, my Ndamukong Suh memories, in all honesty,
I forgot about
come
that.
from just him ragdolling the offensive, like some pretty decent, Bears offensive lines back in the day, just absolutely just torturizing Jay Cutler and whoever else they had back there. I mean, he had a smooth transition from being at Nebraska to then going and playing in the NFL, and that doesn't happen a lot at that position.
So when he got here, I mean that was a big pickup for Nebraska because he was pretty highly thought of coming out of Portland. And his first year under Callahan, I think 8 of his 19 tackles were tackles for loss. He had 3.5 sacks, but then in 2007, he didn't get to the quarterback very often. And you know what happened in 2007? That's what started
a lot of people
Bo's
didn't get to the quarterback too often.
So Callahan gets fired.
Yeah.
His first couple of years at Nebraska, let's be honest, Sue was very ordinary. But then he says, you know what? I'm going to Oregon State. And then Bo gets hired in December, and he says, let's just watch some film. And Bo watched him. So Bo saw him first, and he said, oh my gosh, this is Glenn Dorsey. And then he finds out that Sue wants to transfer to Oregon State, and he is out the door. And he's like, oh, no. And
That's
Bo didn't get to
incredible.
coach him right away because his first spring, Sue had a knee injury. So it allowed Sue basically to study Pelini's defense before the 2008 season.
Well, it's very rare you see a player that is as dominant as he was in 2009 that was his 5th year of college, where it's like you don't typically guys who produce like that, who are at a high level, like they're gone typically. And also too, like you can make the argument if you just look at Sue and the steady progression of 5 years, first year didn't play, second year he was okay, third year he was fine, and then he got better junior and senior year. You see less and less of that now because of the era of college football that we're in. That, nowadays, a guy like Sue, right, in his first 3 years who doesn't produce that much, who's highly thought of, who's got a ton of talent, those are the type of guys who are transferring, who are going to new schools.
Now, his third year, I mean, this is a guy that back-to-back years as a defensive lineman led Nebraska in tackles.
Yeah.
His 76 tackles in 2008, he was the first defensive lineman to lead Nebraska in tackles in
scored an offensive touchdown too.
That was his
36 years, 35 years.
But that was his 4th year, his 76 tackle year. His 3rd year, he had 34 tackles. And so, like to the point though, it's so crazy how different in an era we are in college athletics, because you can look at guys like that who had that trajectory. You're like, that wouldn't happen now. That wouldn't occur.
I mean, remember, Sue played fullback. Remember, he caught a touchdown pass against your beloved Kansas
I
Jayhawks.
remember put the game
Now,
away. It was so cold.
Here's the final thing on Sue. And this is one of the attributes of Bo, is that they looked at defensive linemen different. So defensive linemen under Callahan's defense, under Cosgrove's defense, they were just supposed to be blocks there.
Yeah.
Okay, they weren't going to be moved and let the linebackers
Clean up.
But the thing with Bo's defense, and this also benefited a guy like Jared Crick, is they were pawns. All of a sudden, defensive linemen under Bo became playmakers. And guys, once they saw that and what they were going to do with their defensive linemen, guys went, boop, okay. And so thus you had, look at the defensive linemen under Bo. they were all pretty good, right?
They were
and that was selling that to Sue. That's amazing 2 years that they had together.
It's funny though. If you look in the NFL, we are getting to the point where we're seeing the former come back up, where defensive linemen, it is more about kind of being the clogs and being the stoppers and letting your very fast defense kind of clean everything up while you bring all that girth up front and kind of just hold people. I feel like there's less and less of those dynamic defensive linemen that are necessarily getting drafted very high up.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 6. The crossover is coming up next on 1620 The Zone.